Boss, what this punch called? Shadowless and Small Ginseng looked expectantly at Yemo. Boss, what this punch called? Shadowless and Small Ginseng looked expectantly at Yemo. Yemo thought for a moment and said, Space Shatter. He had crevice, and now Space Shatter. It sounded very good. Small Ginseng, lead the way. We'll go look for good things. When Boss has mastered Space Shatter, we'll go find that old Kaimi bastard. If I don't eat this guy, I don't feel satisfied. Shadowless waved his hand. Small Ginseng was unhappy being ordered, but he couldn't argue and led the way. Half a day later, the three came to a place where the blue color was deeper than other places. But coming here, Yemo immediately felt a sliver of chaos chi. This chi was similar to the chaos chi in his golden page world, but not completely the same. Coming in here, Yemo's spirit sense was unrestricted. This was a dried-up swamp. At the end of the swamp, there were 3 big nest-like things. Because the swamp was dry, this place looked barren and wilder. The swamp was lifeless, but due to these 3 big nests, there was a slive of life here. Boss, this is Chaos Nest. Small Ginseng immediately said, What is Chaos Nest? Yemo asked in confusion. Small Ginseng pointed at the 3 nests and said, Chaos Nests are brought over when a realm is born. It usually has a sliver of law chi. The blue-grayish dimension here is filled with power law, so these Chaos Nests must have power law chi. Power law? Yemo immediately came up to the Chaos Nest and grabbed. A faint primal law feeling rose up into his head. Yemo only had the time to say to Small Ginseng and Shadowless, Take 1 each. I'm going to cultivate now. Shadowless, keep an eye on Yenjutian. Shadowless was waiting for this. Yemo immediately started learning the power law, while Shadowless moved a chaos net into the golden page world. Small Ginseng saw this and did the same. However, Small Ginseng looked strangely at Shadowless and asked, Why didn't you open your mouth this time? That's strange. Shadowless smiled. I feel this chaos net is definitely enough for me to reach Immortal Tao. As long as I reach Immortal Tao, I can eat that Kaimi old bastard in one mouth. His blood river would be nothing. However, I would have to wait till Boss is done. Otherwise, can your little arms stop Yenjutian? Hearing this, Small Ginseng could only shut up. Yemo was completely immersed in learning power law. This chaos net not only refined his immortal essence and spirit sense, but also allowed him to understand his god art and power law more. He kept using Space Shatter through the chaos net, and there was no longer a place to stay around him. Small Ginseng and Shadowless could only keep retreating to free up space for Yemo to practice. Rumbling sounds went non-stop. Terrifying immortal essence, chi, swept out instantly, creating a huge ravine in this canopy. The power law and chaos chi of the chaos net were constantly being stripped away by Yemo. Meanwhile, the height of the chaos net kept dropping, but Yemo's Space Shatter was more and more refined. Time passed rapidly while Shadowless and Small Ginseng could only go around this boring space. When Yenjutian found this blue region, he immediately knew Yemo went inside first. He cursed. He knew his cultivation level was a bit higher than Yemo, but his battle power was weaker than Yemo. He felt very annoyed. He was a half-divine and begun cultivation again, but he wasn't as strong as an ordinary guy. He could only attribute that to the time formation disc. If Yemo didn't have the time formation disc, he would definitely be no match for him. Rumble. With 3 rumbling sounds that was like planets smashing down. In the distance, Small Ginseng and Shadowless looked at the crevices appearing in front of Yemo with mouths wide open in shock. They knew that this was Yemo's fist tearing the void, creating the tear. Although this tear disappeared in an instant and was far from tearing, opening the void, Yemo was only an immortal king. This terrifying power was unimaginable. The ground near Yemo was instantly torn by these 3 fists. The ground seemed to have rolled backwards. But after the 3 punches finished, Yemo waved his hand, and the flying ground fell back down. Crack! The huge chaos net behind Yemo turned to dust and disappeared. Sigh! Yemo let out a long breath. This chaos net was indeed a good thing. He used one, and not only did he perfect his god art, but he could use 3 space shatters in a row. Even after that, his immortal essence and spirit sense wasn't that deprived. Before, he thought that if he could use 2 shatters, he wouldn't be scared of the Blood River 9 falls being used twice, but now that he can use 3, Kaimi would be dead for sure. Yemo saw the line like tears in the space. He knew that with the toughness of space here, even a mortal emperor wouldn't be able to tear it open. Just because he created lines, it didn't mean he could tear it open. It was just the burst of him perfecting his god art and the chaos net. If he used that move again, he might not be able to create space tears. However, he was very happy he was only an immortal king middle stage after all. Boss, so strong. Shadowless and Small Ginseng came over and congratulated immediately. I still have a chaos tree. Should I take it out for Boss to cultivate? Small Ginseng immediately said. Seeing this, Shadowless was a little reluctant, but could only say, Boss, I have one too. Yemo waved his hand. I only need one. I've learned the power law. Even if I get more, I wouldn't progress much. Plus my god art is perfected. I don't need to waste these things. Then Yemo looked at Shadowless and said, Shadowless, can that chaos net let you reach Immortal Tau? If it can't, then save it. Don't waste it. Shadowless quickly flapped his wings and said, Boss, don't worry. After eating this chaos net, I can definitely reach Immortal Tau. I promise. Then, Shadowless charged into the Golden Page world. He was scared of Golden Page world causing trouble, so he immediately went in and ate the chaos net before sitting beside the bitter bamboo. How long have I been cultivating here for? Yemo asked Small Ginseng. It's been 4 months. Small Ginseng quickly said. Yemo frowned and said, Go into the Golden Page world first. I need to go that immortal city. If Kaimi, this old bastard, gets away, it would be no good. Yemo didn't know that not long after he left, the space where he was started to crack. Outside the whirlpool, the immortal emperors and immortal monarchs looked at it in shock. The 20,000 people had gone in for a few months, but the entrance slowly calmed down instead of disappearing. Brother Feng Kong, I feel the law suppression seems to be disappearing. Perhaps the other people who have controlled the law can enter too. Blood River Grand Emperor said. I noticed it too. Wei Feng Grand Emperor and a few other immortal emperors said. The immortal emperors glanced at each other and nodded before charging inside without hesitation. The remaining immortal monarchs saw this, and all went in. Only a few people remained outside. I killed your people, so what? That Ding Jie guy stay here, the rest of you piss off. Yan Jutian stared coldly at more than 10 immortal king and yelled. Below his feet were 2 corpses. Ding Jie's face was very bad. He just fought Yan Jutian a few years ago, but in such a short time, he was completely outmatched. Yan Jutian, how arrogant you are. You dare to insult Madman Ding. I'm going to kill you first. Yemo's voice sounded. Hearing this, Ding Jie laughed. Yemo, I knew that in such a busy place you would be here. Huh. Hearing this voice, Yan Zhoutian's face went really bad. He didn't need to look to know Yemo was here. Yemo took the thing he wanted, and clearly his power increased a lot. He was no match for him before, now was even worse. Hearing this voice, Yan Zhoutian's face went really bad. He didn't need to look to know Yemo was here. Yemo took the thing he wanted, and clearly his power increased a lot. He was no match for him before, now was even worse. Other than Ding Jie, the rest of the people looked at Yemo in shock. Although Yan Zhoutian came in here with them, no one expected him to be this powerful. They were trapped by countless star beasts before, but when Yan Zhoutian came, he just used a few simple god arts, and those star beasts ran away. 2 immortal kings were killed on the spot just for being slightly rude to Yan Zhoutian. No one dared to say no when Yan Jiutian said Ding Jia had to stay. Who was this person who just came? He spoke to Yan Jiutian in such tone, but Yan Jiutian wasn't angry? Everyone looked at Yemo. In fact, Yemo just carried a simple sword on his back. This sword had a sheath too. He didn't look like an immortal king at all, more like a mortal from the lower realms. Yemo, I was wanting to go find you after leaving here. I didn't expect you were here too. This is great. You don't know how cocky this guy is. I really can't beat him now. Ding Jia said. Yemo patted his shoulder and said, This guy is a mortal king, tertiary stage. He hid his power. You can't beat him now, but that doesn't mean you can't beat him when you're a mortal king, tertiary stage. Hearing this, Yan Jiutian was shocked. He didn't expect Yemo to be able to see through him hiding his power. Meanwhile, he couldn't see what Yemo's power level was. This guy is too shameless. Yemo, teach him a lesson. I'll cheer you on. Ding Jia rolled up his sleeves and said, Yemo knew that Yan Jiutian was good at running, and it was completely impossible to kill him, but he didn't feel good without teaching Yan Jiutian a lesson. Just when Yemo was about to release Sisu, Yan Jiutian's suddenly sound transmission. Yemo, I'm no match for you, I admit, but it's impossible for you to kill me. If you want to fight, then I can fight with you, but when Kaimi comes, I will join up with him. Can you beat the two of us? Yemo frowned. He knew what Yan Jiutian said was true. Yan Jiutian's escape abilities were much stronger than him. Seeing this, Yan Jiutian said again, Yemo, I know you have an immortal sect, but I never cause trouble there. If you have the balls, we'll fight when we're both a mortal emperor. Normally, you can't kill me, nor can I kill you. No matter how we fight, it would be a waste of immortal essence. Plus, you know that I would definitely do it personally if I was to kill you. I wouldn't spill your secret like an idiot. I believe you think the same. Yan Jiutian wasn't that noble, of course. He didn't go to Low Heaven Domain because he didn't have time. Plus, he didn't even consider MOU immortal sect a threat. Plus, Yan Jiutian believed that if he reached a mortal emperor, then no matter how insane Yemo was, he could kill Yemo. He had a few powerful god arts that could only be cultivated in a mortal emperor state. If it was outside, then Yan Jiutian would say this, but this bluish-gray dimension was small, and the star beasts here seemed to be able to communicate. It wouldn't be hard for Yemo to find him. Yemo didn't really care waiting till a mortal emperor to fight Yan Jiutian. He knew that since Yan Jiutian said this, he was relying on something, but even so, Yemo wasn't scared. Yemo, just teach this Yan bastard a lesson. I'll stop this guy. We can't let this guy get away. Ding Jia laughed. Yemo waved his hand and said to Yan Jiutian, Piss off. I don't want to kill you now. Yan Jiutian's face was green, but he could only go and soon disappeared. Yemo, why not kill him? Ding Jia looked at Yemo with confusion. Because someone I want to kill more has come. Then Yemo stared at an empty space ahead. Soon, a gray-robed person appeared. It was clearly Kaimi. Yemo felt this guy seemed even more stronger than a few months ago. This time, Kaimi didn't draw Yemo away and just said coldly, I knew you would take those chaos nests, you idiot. Die. Then, Kaimi released Blood Spear and Blood River Nine Falls. The violent and foul stench spread out. The terrifying immortal king domain spread out like crazy. Ding Jia and the other immortal kings could only retreat and instantly left where Yemo and Kaimi were. The space rattled heavily with the release of the blood spear. Yemo felt it was okay, but the nearby immortal kings looked at the void in shock. This power was like the sky falling. Was this even a battle between a mortal king? Even a battle between a mortal monarch was only like this. The 9 blood rivers swept down from the sky. Even at tens of km away, the immortal kings felt it was hard to breath. There was shock in Ding Jia's eyes. He thought he was at the peak of a mortal king, but he couldn't beat Yan Jiutian. That was all right, as Yan Jiutian was a mortal king, tertiary stage. But now he fought he couldn't beat Imo's enemy Kai-mi. This guy was even stronger than Yen Jiutian. This Kai-mi seemed to only be a mortal king, primary stage. No matter if he hid his power or not, he was definitely an immortal king. As the 9 rivers fell, the bluish-gray dimension turned blood red. The revolting smell completely sealed this space shut. Yi-Emo didn't move at all. He was waiting for Kai-mi to use this. If Kai-mi didn't use Blood River 9 Falls, it wouldn't be easy for him to kill Kai-mi in his own way. Kai-mi was once a divine emperor. Who knows what means he hasn't used yet? The nearby people could only see 9 blood rivers covering the heavens and sweeping at Yi-Emo. Yi-Emo never thought of running away. The moment Kai-mi used it, Yi-Emo used his space shatter. Explosions sounded amidst the Blood River. Soon, the immortals saw void runes forming outside the Blood River and then gathering together before sweeping up the nearby void lethal force, forming an invisible lethal force whirlpool. What fist god art is this? The nearby immortal kings looked at Space Shatter in shock. Seeing this, Kai-mi frowned. As a past divine emperor, his vision was countless times better than others. Yi-Emo's Space Shatter was completely different to Void before. This time, Yi-Emo just used 1 punch, but its power was much greater than the 9 punches together. This meant that Yi-Emo fused the 9 punches into a new god art. Kai-mi was shocked. If he didn't kill Yi-Emo today, there would be endless trouble. In a few months, he fused a new god art. If he didn't kill Yi-Emo, while he wasn't strong, then it would be thousands of times harder later. Rumble. The lethal force whirlpool exploded in the Blood River, and the 9 blood rivers exploded. The ground and the void was a complete mess. Kai-mi sneered. The blood spears shrieked in the air, and before they completely disappeared, another 9 blood rivers fell along with Kai-mi's frigid voice. The Emperor shall see if you can take a second Blood River 9 fall. The second Blood River 9 Falls smashed down, space erupted. Even 100 km away, the onlooking immortal kings found it hard to breath. The second Blood River 9 Falls smashed down, space erupted. Even 100 km away, the onlooking immortal kings found it hard to breath. Such terrifying god art, used consecutively, was too powerful for any of them to stop alone. Yi-Emo was just an immortal king. Could he stop the second Blood River 9 Falls? Even Ding Jie looked at Yi-Emo with a worry. He admired Yi-Emo the most, but he wasn't sure if Yi-Emo could stop this. After punching out the first space shatter, Yi-Emo's face only went a little paler. Now that the second Blood River 9 Falls came, he instead took a step in and punched again. After this punch, the nearby space switched. The void and lethal force moved by the Blood River 9 Falls turned into fist runes. Yi-Emo's punch carried 9 lethal force whirlpools and smashed towards the Blood River 9 Falls. Rumble, rumble, rumble. The two clashed head-on, and 9 heavenly shocking explosions sounded. Blood splashed everywhere, and immortal essence dispersed. The nearby space started to rattle heavily. Waves of immortal essence and spirit sense space waves were clearly visible. Everyone took in a cold breath. The first time they clashed, no one saw how Yi-Emo countered the Blood River 9 Falls, but this time, everyone saw clearly. Yi-Emo used his fist god art to smash the Blood River 9 Falls head-on. Yi-Emo's fist god art was formed by many lethal force whirlpools that could also divide into 9 or even more. Yi-Emo could use his fist to break Kai-mi's Blood River, meaning that his body was powerful to a new extreme. This couldn't be done with just god art. In the immortal realm, those using fist god arts were pretty much all body refinement cultivators. Some experienced people realized why Yi-Emo delayed using his first punch. It was to bait Kai-mi to use the second Blood River 9 Falls. Kai-mi realized this too. His heart was shook. He completely didn't expect Yi-Emo to be able to progress this much in a few months. Yi-Mo used 9 punches to stop his Blood River 9 falls, and afterwards his immortal essence and spirit sense was used by more than 90%. But today, Yi-Mo not only fused the 9 punches into a new fist god art, but could use it twice. No wonder you dare to stay here to wait for me. It's because you found a way to counter my Blood River 9 falls. Kaimi sneered and suddenly held spitting out Blood River 9 falls. The third Blood River 9 falls struck down. The terrifying Blood River Chi emanated. The nearby space had been ravaged by 3 Blood River 9 falls, and finally marks started to appear that could be seen by the naked eye. Yi-Mo's face changed. He guessed that Kaimi would be able to use Blood River 9 falls twice, but he didn't expect 3 times. Seeing Yi-Mo's face change, Kaimi laughed. His complexion wasn't normal, clearly due to using Blood River 9 falls for the 3rd time. You would never know what my next move is, and you would never guess where my real power is at. So today you can only die here, Blood River attack. Even if he was to be heavily injured, he would kill Yi-Mo today. He didn't believe Yi-Mo would be able to stop his Blood River 9 falls a 3rd time. When the 3rd Blood River fell, his immortal king domain and blood spear had fused into the strongest immortal king domain. This domain completely sealed off Yi-Mo's exit. Yi-Mo wasn't going to run, he never thought of it. He didn't move at all, and then suddenly punched out again. Space shatter! Space shatter! It had to shatter space to be called space shatter. Yi-Mo's space shatter couldn't shatter the space here, but it could shatter Kaimi's Blood River 9 falls. This punch smashed out. The fist force swept the nearby few 100-kilometer lethal force rushed, and the fist force was like rolling ocean. The 3rd space shatter was stronger than the 1st and 2nd one. Seeing this, Kaimi's face changed drastically. He completely didn't expect Yi-Mo to improve this much in a mere 4 months. It was already crazy enough that he could use Blood River 9 falls 1 extra time during this time. Even if Yi-Mo got the Chaos Nest, he shouldn't be able to use 3 of such terrifying fist god art consecutively. He didn't know that Yi-Mo cultivated the 3-birth chant. It was the most suitable thing for deriving everything. Once the Space Shatter God art was derived, it was a new god art. This new god art didn't require immortal essence and spirit sense used for 9 voids. It used even less. Rumble. Terrifying chi and explosions rustled about. The outside immortal kings could only see waves of lethal force, whirlpool, and layers of blood, mist entwining. With the 3rd Blood River 9 falls being smashed away, Kaimi immediately felt the backlash. He was already at his wit's end after using 3 Blood River 9 falls. If he knew Yi-Mo could stop his 3 Blood River 9 falls, he would never fight Yi-Mo in this way. Kaimi knew he had lost completely. Kaimi didn't even care about his blood spear anymore. He burned his immortal essence and life like crazy. He had to get away as quickly as possible. If he was in essence spirit form, it would be better, but Lu Zhengquan's body confined him greatly. But Yi-Mo wasn't going to give him the chance. Lightning crossed in the sky, instantly forming a lightning spear containing endless killing intent. Kaimi's immortal king domain instantly shattered, and the blood spear was about to fall. Kaimi knew lightning sand and just barely moved his body. Splurge! The lightning spear passed through Kaimi, sending him into the not yet dissipated fist whirlpool. Kaimi's body was instantly obliterated. Yi-Mo stood in this blood, but his face was very bleak. A divine emperor wasn't so easy to kill indeed. Even though he crippled Kaimi's body, his essence spirit still got away. Not only this, he didn't even see the red spear. The divine emperor essence spirit was terrifyingly refined. It could get away in that terrifying lethal force whirlpool, and Yi-Mo didn't even know how it got away. The only thing that Yi-Mo felt assured about was that for Kaimi's essence spirit to reach immortal king level again, it would require a few 100 to 1,000 years, and this was if he could find a suitable body. Otherwise, it would take longer. Of course, if he encountered some insane fortune, it would be hard to say. Haha, Yemo, you're strong indeed. Even such a powerful guy was slaughtered by you with only essence, spirit running away. Ding Jia was the first to congratulate Yemo. The nearby immortal king surrounded over. An extremely beautiful female immortal walked up softly to Yemo and bowed. Hua Yushua, thank martial brother Yi for saving my life, Yushua. She had a faint aroma on her body that would render men with a throbbing and good feeling. Yi Emo had his instincts and didn't have a good impression of this female immortal, so he nodded. No need to thank me. I didn't come just to save you. Hee, she's from Demon Joy sect. I'm certain that she came to seduce you. If you hint a little, you guys can jump in bed immediately. Ding Jia sound transmissioned. Yi Emo thought of another woman. She was from Demon Joy sect, too, called Hua Rushue. Clearly these two were related. Thinking about this, Yi Emo sneered. Demon Joy sect really ruined the name Shui. TL note. Shui means snow. He even killed Demon Joy sect immortal king. How could he suck up to Demon Joy sect? Hearing this, Hua Yushue's face changed immediately. But before she spoke, Yemo dashed among the immortal kings and grabbed a pink-dressed female immortal, asking very nervously, What did you say? Say it again. Yemo, she's from Wujia Sound River. It's the #1 sect of Yu Heaven. Wuhua Immortal Emperor Sang-Chi never comes out, but his power is no weaker than Feng Kong Grand Emperor. He's even at the level of half divine. The second Immortal Emperor, Wu Yin Immortal Emperor Nuan Xiu, is Immortal Emperor Peak 2. No one dares to mess with them. It's said Wujia Sound River has 4 immortal emperors and more than 10 immortal monarchs. Don't mess with her. Yemo, she's from Wujia Sound River. It's the #1 sect of Yu Heaven. Wuhua Immortal Emperor Sang-Chi never comes out, but his power is no weaker than Feng Kong Grand Emperor. He's even at the level of half divine. The second Immortal Emperor, Wu Yin Immortal Emperor Nuan Xiu, is Immortal Emperor Peak 2. No one dares to mess with them. It's said Wujia Sound River has 4 immortal emperors and more than 10 immortal monarchs. Don't mess with her. Seeing Yemo grab this pink-dressed female immortal, Ding Jia sound transmission to Yemo, fearing Yemo would do something inappropriate. Even his sect couldn't mess with Wujia Sound River. The top sects of Immortal Realm all have 3 immortal emperor, but Wujia Sound River has 4. Wujia Sound River was very dominant and protective. If their sect members was abused, they would definitely hunt the abuser. Yemo didn't seem to hear what Ding Jia said and kept staying coldly at the red-robed female immortal, saying, Say it again, what did you just say? After her initial worry, she gradually calmed down. Let me go first. The immortal king's face burst red and yelled. Yemo felt he was doing wrong and quickly let go, but he didn't have the time to apologize. He just stared at her and said, I just said you look a bit like the image carried on Xiaoyun's jade card. I didn't offend you. What right did you have to attack me? Yemo was dumbfounded. He just kept murmuring Xiaoyun. Mu Xiaoyun went missing in the small world, and he went to the small world many times but couldn't find her. Now that he heard Xiaoyun's name again, especially how she carried an image of him, how could he not be excited? Show me Xiaoyun's image. Tell me where she is? Yemo asked desperately. Seeing Yemo didn't have the intention to apologize, the female immortal could only say, 10 years ago, Ween Martial ancestor brought Xiaoyun back. I've seen her once because Martial's sister Peng and I arranged her residence. I only asked Martial's sister Peng because I saw you. However, we never saw Xiaoyun after that. At the time, Xiaoyun carried a jade card and inside was your image. Her surname is Mu, right? Yemo asked loudly, completely forgetting the tone of his voice. The female immortal subconsciously frowned, but still nodded. Yes, she's called Mu Xiaoyun. This is her image. Then the female immortal took out a crystal ball and casually printed an image inside. Yi Mo grabbed the crystal ball immediately and murmured, "It's Xiaoyan indeed, it really is her." Now, everyone realized that this Mu Xiaoyan was probably someone Yi Mo knew. However, she appeared at Wujiao Sound River. How is she now? Is she Wuyin Qianbei's disciple? Yi Mo put away the crystal ball and asked shakily. Wuyin was an immortal emperor. If Xiaoyan was her disciple, she would be doing well. The female immortal shook her head. "I'm not sure because I never saw her again. Martial ancestor Wuyin never took her to some gathering or public events." Yi Mo frowned. Xiaoyan might not be Wuyin immortal emperor's disciple. If a master liked his disciple, he would take the disciple to all sorts of public events. Another thing that made Yi Mo more confused was that Xiaoyan's talent was very bad, just a little bit better than him. Even if she cultivated primordial chaos chant, she shouldn't be able to ascend in such a short time. If Xiaoyan didn't ascend on her own, then she was brought over by Wuyin from another realm, or she had some great fortune. But even if she did, how could she keep it if Wuyin Immortal Emperor knew about it? When you saw Xiaoyan, what was her cultivation level? Yi Mo asked. The female immortal dazed and said, "It seemed to be truth realization state. I didn't really care." How could an immortal king care about an ordinary immortal ascension disciple? "Yi Mo, you know this Mu Xiaoyan?" Ding Jie looked at Yi Mo and asked. Yi Mo nodded. "That's right. Ding Jie, how did you guys come in here? Can you go out? I'm going to go find Xiaoyan." Yi Mo worried that Xiaoyan might not have much status in Wuyin Sound River. No one would care if Immortal Ascension disciple died in such a big sect. Ding Jie shook his head. "Probably not. When we came in, those Immortal Emperors aid that even if you want to go out, it would be 12 years later." As soon as Ding Jie said this, a red flying sword landed. Ding Jie grabbed it and immediately said in joy, "Saini said Immortal Emperors have come in. They're at Star Defense Immortal City. Let's hurry over and see. I'm bored of this place already." Hearing this, the rest of the people rejoiced, and the immortal kings quickly left. 10,000 great Eternity Immortal and Immortal King gathered outside the city. Yi Mo came here and immediately saw more than 10 Immortal Emperor. Their force was overwhelming. Yi Mo took in a cold breath and carefully controlled his qi. If it was a mortal monarch, he wouldn't really care, but against an immortal emperor, Yi Mo didn't have any confidence. He was probably no match for even the weakest immortal emperor. A long-bearded, handsome man stood in the air and said to the rest of the people, "We originally guessed this was the entrance to the Chaos Star Realm, but instead it's the dimension where star beasts live. It seems some problem occurred here, and it's now connected to another realm. The exit has appeared. Everyone can go back from where they came from. Those who want to can come with us to the other realm." Yi Mo knew this person. It was Wei Feng, Immortal Emperor. Wu Shuang, Immortal Emperor, was killed by this guy. Then, Wei Feng, Immortal Emperor, left in a dashing light. The rest of the Immortal Emperors didn't even say anything and left. Yi Mo didn't know where the other realm appeared, but he wasn't interested at all. He suddenly thought of one thing and said to Ding Jie, "Ding Jie, did that Wuyin Immortal Emperor come?" "She did. She was among the people who left." Ding Jie quickly sound transmissioned. "Wuyin Immortal Emperor, Master, please wait." Yi Mo quickly called and was about to chase up. Mu Xiaoyan was taken back by her. Even if Wuyin was a divine emperor, he would go up and ask. But she was too fast and had already disappeared. "How dare you? A mere immortal king dares to stop Wuyin martial ancestor. Do you not want to live?" A black-faced man sneered and blocked Yi Mo's path. This was an immortal monarch middle stage. Yi Mo stopped. He knew he wouldn't be able to catch up. "Martial Uncle Ji Shui," he said. He had a friend at Wujiao Sound River. He probably wanted to ask about this friend from Wuyin martial ancestor. The pink-dressed female immortal explained. Yi Mo said heavily, "That's right. Wuyin Qianbei's disciple is my friend. So I want to ask her if my friend is at Wujiao Sound River." "Humph. Jishue, immortal monarch, sneered and looked at Yemo in contempt. Wuyin martial ancestor wouldn't take anyone in for disciple. Are you dreaming? From what I know, martial ancestor Wuyin never had a disciple. You don't need to ask. Yemo's eyes went cold and looked at the female immortal. What's going on? You said Xiaoyan was brought to Wujia Sound River by Wuyin Qianbei. The female immortal was lost for words. She was scared of Yemo from the bottom of her heart. Now that Yemo asked, she could only say, I don't know if Xiaoyan is martial ancestor Wuyin's disciple. I've only seen her once. Hearing this, Yemo was very worried. What good thing could an immortal emperor old monster do to an immortal ascension cultivator if it wasn't to take her in as disciple? You're asking to die. The immortal monarch saw Yemo's tone was getting rude and became furious. Yemo didn't have the mood to care which sect he was from. He hacked out Zisu, and a 1-kilometer-long purple sword ray extended out. The rest of the immortals felt like that Yemo's sword had grabbed the nearby tens of km of space together. The rest of the immortals felt like that Yemo's sword had grabbed the nearby tens of km of space together. Looking at the force with which Yemo and the immortal monarch attacked, everyone even thought that Yemo was an immortal monarch and this Wujia Sound River immortal monarch was an immortal king. Ding Jie's eyes shot out gleams. He didn't even blink as he watched Yemo's strike. He had seen this strike. He was there when Yemo learned this strike at the title status tower. This strike carried a blade that had this destructive chi that would tear apart everything. It seemed even more terrifying than Yemo's 3 space shatters. The nearby immortals immediately retreated after feeling the destructive chi from Yemo's strike. The feeling that Yemo's strike gave everyone was that if they retreated a little bit slower, they would be swept in by the strike and annihilated. Those immortal kings who saw Yemo fight with Kaimi just realized that Yemo didn't even use his magic artifact. While fighting Kaimi, this was their first time seeing Yemo's magic artifact. It was an extremely ugly purple sword. When Yemo used Crevice, Jishue, immortal monarch's face changed immediately. His green long sword with the green sword veil instantly separated under the strike and dissipated. His immortal monarch domain wasn't actually weaker than Yemo's immortal king domain. It completely crippled under the destructive chi of the strike. Crack, crack. The sound spread out. Yemo's runes seemed to be about to tear open the void and strike down from this immortal monarch's eyebrows. Rumble. In his desperation, Jishue, immortal monarch's green sword, turned into a green ray. Yemo's crevice chi gradually grew faint in this green ray. Splurge! It was the sound of flesh being cut open. Everyone held their breath. They were familiar with this sound. It was the sound of body about to cripple. Jishue, immortal monarch, was extremely shocked. Just when he wanted to use his trump card, he saw that 10-meter-long purple sword hanging above his forehead, but it stopped. If it continued to strike down, his body would have been cut in half. Even so, there was a long bloody mark on Jishue, immortal monarch's forehead. Just one move, an immortal monarch middle stage lost to an immortal king. This was too terrifying. Just who are you? Jishue, immortal monarch, asked shakily. The nearby immortals took in a cold breath. This was their first time seeing such an absurd immortal king. Those immortal kings were even shaking. Only they knew that Yemo had already fought a heavy battle with someone far stronger. Jishue, immortal monarch. Under such situation, Yemo could still subjugate an immortal monarch middle stage immediately. He was too terrifying. Saint, who made her way over, also saw this move, but she knew Yemo's power just like Ding Jie. In her eyes, Yemo was bound to become a god-like figure. Yemo wouldn't even be afraid of immortal emperors in the future, much less an immortal monarch. Her eyes lit up. She had only parted from Yemo for a few years, and his power increased many times. Who I am doesn't concern. I can let you go this time. Tell me about Xiaoyan. Otherwise, I won't be so polite next time. Yemo said coldly. Jishue, immortal monarch, took in a cold breath. Although he had many god arts he didn't use yet, he knew he was no match for Yi Mo even if he used them. You're a mere immortal king. Are you really going to fight Wuyin Sound River? Ji Shui, immortal monarch, said. Yi Mo waved his hand. Zi Su fell back into the sheath. Then Yi Mo said, coldly, if I was going to fight Wuyin Sound River, you would be dead now. You just need to answer me if Mu Xiaoyan is still at Wuyin Sound River. Where is she? Take me to Wuyin Sound River to find her, and your business is over. Ji Shui, immortal monarch, said coldly, even if you kill me, I can't take you to find that Mu Xiaoyan. First, I've never seen her, nor heard of her. Second, if was brought back by Wuyin martial ancestor, I can't enter the Wuyin peak where Wuyin martial ancestor lives. Yi Mo ignored Ji Shui and said to Ding Jie, Ding Jie, I'm going to find Xiaoyan. Where are you going? Of course with you. No matter how big of a sect Wuyin Sound River is, I believe they wouldn't stop you seeing your friend. Ding Jie said, Brother, Yi, I'll go with you. Yi Saint flew over and said, Ji Shui, immortal monarchs, sunk his face and said, Ding Jie, you're one of the most core immortal king of Qi He Emperor sect. Do you know what the consequence of going to Wujia Sound River is? Is your Qi He Emperor sect going to fight Wujia Sound River? And Yi Saint, you're the saint of Jiufan Immortal Pond. Yet you call random man brother, and you're also going to Wujia Sound River. Do you think we're easy to abuse? Ding Jie laughed. Ji Shui, immortal monarch. I'm respecting you by calling you immortal monarch. Wujia Sound River is indeed a big sect, much bigger than my Qi He Emperor sect. But is going with Yi Mo to find his friend fighting Wujia Sound River? If you're really going to count that as fighting Wujia Sound River, I'll take it. There's nothing I'm afraid of. Your sect's name is big, but not enough to scare me. Yi Saint said plainly, Brother, Yi has helped me greatly. His business is my business. If Ji Shui, Qian Bei, has to say that me saying Brother Yi is against the rules of Jiufan Immortal Pond, then you can go report me at Jiufan Immortal Pond. If my sect kicks me out, then I have nothing to say. Ji Shui, immortal monarch's face changed. If it was some other sect, his threats could suppress them, but Ding Jie and Zhang Tai are both from Emperor sections. Although they weren't as strong as Wujia Sound River, they couldn't be ignored easily. Plus, these two were the top-level sect members. They were the future of the sect. Yi Mo patted Ding Jie's shoulder, but before he could say anything, Ding Jie laughed. Brother Yi, if you look down on me, North Time Immortal King, then don't let me go. Yi Mo didn't want Ding Jie involved, but since he said this, Yi Mo laughed. Okay, let's go Wujia Sound River together. I want to see how they won't let me take Xiaoyan. Then Yi Mo released space-time boat. Ding Jie, Yi, let's go to Wujia Sound River. Yi Mo didn't care about revealing his low-grade flying god artifact, since he revealed his immortal king identity. He believed that he could protect himself even against a mortal emperor. He didn't need to be so fearful. Yi Mo believed a divine emperor wouldn't come looking for his trouble for a low-grade god artifact. Seeing the three leave, Ji Shui, immortal monarch, sneered. Taking people from Wujia Sound River, are they arrogant or ignorant? Seeing Yi Mo leave in space-time boat, many people were jealous and envious, but no one dared to go up to rob it. As the bluish-gray dimension was opened, many immortals flew out. Some immortal monarch and immortal king stayed and followed the immortal emperors. Yi Mo, do you think that realm that suddenly appeared would be the realm that disappeared? Ding Jie asked. Saint Yi also looked at Yi Mo. She had the same suspicion. I understand. Yi Mo suddenly said. The two stared at Yi Mo in confusion. Yi Mo said something completely irrelevant. Xiaoyan was later tested to be pure with spirit root. She cultivated slow because of her cultivation method before. Later on, she cultivated slow because she missed me a lot and didn't have the mind to cultivate. Ding Jie and Yi glanced at each other but didn't interrupt Yi Mo's thoughts. They had guessed just how important Wu Xiaoyan was to Yi Mo. Spirit sense can't scan in at all. An immortal emperor primary stage came to the crevice where Yi Mo was cultivating before and said, Spirit sense can't scan in at all. An immortal emperor primary stage came to the crevice where Yi Mo was cultivating before and said, They were all immortal emperors, but none of them want to go in first, including Feng Kong and Blood River Grand Emperor. At this moment, an extremely dense immortal spirit Qi came out of the black hole. Such dense immortal spirit Qi? The immortal emperors glanced at each other. I'll go in first. As soon as Feng Kong Grand Emperor said this, the immortal emperors saw a blood color silently sweep past and go into the black hole. A blood spear, the essence spirit controlling it, is very weak, but is very experienced. He could even cheat us. Blood River Grand Emperor looked and said, Feng Kong Grand Emperor sneered and immediately got up, instantly dashing into this black hole. The rest of the immortal emperors saw this, and all followed in, after another, while a few immortal kings arrived here too. However, these immortal kings were immediately swooped out by the black hole. Other than one, the rest of them were all torn to pieces. Wujia Sound River, it was the top sect in all of the entire Grand Heaven domain. Not even the Yu Heaven Lord dared to offend Wujia Sound River. 3 months later, Yi Mo's space-time boat had went in Yu Heaven. A few days later, it appeared outside Wujia Sound River sect. Looking at the mountain range spanning a few 100,000 km, Yi Mo gasped. Yu immortal sect was rather grand, but throwing it in the Wujia Sound River, it wouldn't even be seen. In the few 100,000 km of mountain ranges, the dense immortal spirit Qi clouds circulated in the air, mixing with ordinary cloud, forming a scene of extreme beauty. Amidst the clouds, for golden words floated about Wujia Sound River. The words could be seen no matter which direction you looked at it. Songs of extremely pleasing immortal music sounded from inside the ranges, rejuvenating people's soul and making them not want to leave. This is Wujia Sound River. It has 2 main peaks. The first main peak is Wujia Peak. The second main peak is the peak where the immortal music is coming from. It's called Sound River Peak. It's said that Wujia Sound River is created by Wujia Immortal Emperor and Sound River Immortal Emperor together. The 2 immortal emperors reached the extreme of cultivation and disappeared in pursuit of Tao vindication. Ding Jie said, Brother Yi, Wujia Sound River has 4 immortal emperors now, other than Wu Hua Immortal Emperor and Wu Yin Immortal Emperor. There's 2 immortal emperor primary stage. They're Wu Immortal Emperor and Wu Hui Immortal Emperor. Wu Hua Immortal Emperor isn't at Wujia Sound River. No one knows where he went. Wu Yin Immortal Emperor went to the New Realm and shouldn't be back in a short while. But Wu Yu Immortal Emperor and Wu Hui Immortal Emperor are probably still here. Yi hesitated and said what was in her heart. Yi Mo knew what she meant and waved his hand. I'm no match for Wujia Sound River. I know that very well. But my wife is at Wujia Sound River. Even though I know I'm no match for them, I still have to see her. Xiao Yun is your wife. Yi was going to persuade Yi Mo to calm down, but hearing this, she immediately forgot her purpose. Yi Mo nodded. Yes, she's my wife. I haven't seen her for 100 years. Then Yi Mo looked at the Grand Wujia Sound River and sighed. He wasn't dumb. He knew it probably wouldn't be easy trying to take Xiaoyan from there. If Wu Yin Immortal Emperor was an ordinary person, it was fine, but Wu Yin Immortal Emperor was the second strongest in the second. How could she easily let go of someone she brought back? If Wu Yin Immortal Emperor really took Xiaoyan to be her disciple, Yi Mo knew it was fine to leave her here for the moment, but he subtly felt that Wu Yin didn't bring Xiaoyan back to be her disciple. Yi Mo had been in contact with some immortal emperor and even divine emperor. He knew that in the immortal realm, even an immortal emperor had limitations on his lifespan. If one couldn't vindicate Tao at the end of his life, he would have to give up his body and possess another one, beginning cultivation again. Who was to be sure that Wuyin Immortal Emperor didn't bring Mu Shaoran back for possession? If Xiaoyan really ascended, then she was definitely pure with spirit root. The immortal root it changed to would be extremely perfect too. On the way, Yi Mo had asked Yi and Ding Jia about this Wuyin Immortal Emperor. He learned that she never had a Dao partner and her age was very old. She was older than many dead immortal emperors. Other than this, it was also fabled that she was an immortal pill Grand Master. The immortal pill Grand Master in the immortal realm was different to cultivation realm pill king. In the cultivation realm, the fire spirit root was the best for pill concoction, but in the immortal realm, rare flames could be found elsewhere. The real immortal pill great masters all came from what immortal spirit roots. That was Mu Shaoyan. Yi Mo thinks that we should be polite first and try to avoid conflict. Ding Jia said. Yi Mo smiled. If I was really reckless, I would be killed that Ji Shui immortal monarch. How can I let him live? I'll go knock. Ding Jia saw he's still in a daze, so he said. Yi Mo waved his hand. I'll go myself, you guys came with me. If something happened, you guys can get involved, but I don't want your sect to get involved too. Ding Jia heard this and nodded. If he knocked first, it meant he was leading. If Yi Mo knocked them, it meant that they were just helping Yi Mo. Yi Mo stood before Wu Jia Sound River and said, Gong Hua Heaven Mo, you immortal sect leader, Yi Mo has come to visit. Then Ding Jia said, Great Red Heaven Chi, he Emperor sect, North Time Immortal King Ding Jia has come to visit. Quickly said, Fan Du Heaven Jiu Fan Immortal Pond St. John Tai has come to visit. Hearing this, Yi Mo was very grateful. He was just a low heaven domain sect leader. He didn't even have the right to talk before Wu Jia Sound River. Meanwhile, these two were different. No sect dares to ignore both of their sects at the same time. Not even Wu Jia Sound River. Soon, they saw the sect mountain open. 2 golden rays drew open, and a beautiful immortal sound came from within. Moments later, an immortal king had come to greet. Behind him were tens of extremely beautiful female immortal standing on the rainbow cloud. Wu Jia Sound River welcomed the 3 immortal kings. It was a middle-aged immortal king. He looked very ordinary, but his smile seemed very genuine. This wasn't the top-level welcome, but for them 3, it was rather respectful. After some greeting, the middle-aged immortal king led the way. Yi Mo and them soon went into the guest palace. The 2 sides were filled with people. It gave Yi Mo the feeling that Wu Jia Sound River already knew they were coming. The 3 immortal kings have come from a long way, lighting up and bringing honor to Wu Jia Sound River. I'm the sect leader, Lu Li. An immortal and ethereal-looking man walked in here. Yi Mo could tell this Lu Li was immortal monarch tertiary stage. Yi Mo didn't feel it was strange that an immortal monarch was the sect leader of Wu Jia Sound River. Most sects were like this. The strongest person wasn't the sect leader. Lu Li was relatively polite to Yi Mo, but after everyone sat down, Lu Li didn't talk to Yi Mo first, but smiled at Ding Jia and asking them about Qi, He Emperor sect, and Jiu Fan Immortal Pond. It was as though Yi Mo was their follower. Even after that, he didn't ask about MOU Immortal Sect. Yi Mo's face was calm and didn't show any anger. He came to take Xiaoyan away, not connect with Wu Jia Sound River. Yi Mo's face was calm and didn't show any anger. He came to take Xiaoyan away, not connect with Wu Jia Sound River. Ding Jia couldn't resist saying sect leader master. Yi Mo is my best friend, so I came with him this time. It's the same for Saint Yi. Yi got up and said, Yes, Ji Sheng immortal monarch master, brother Yi came to your honored sect for some business. The 2 used different ways to avoid called sect leader, clearly showing their discontent. Ji Sheng immortal monarch glanced at Yi Mo in confusion. He didn't expect a mere immortal king middle stage would have the capability to make Saint Yi call him Brother Yi. Ji Sheng, immortal monarch, was very cunning. He immediately laughed. Mo, immortal sect leader, came visit my Wujia Sound River. It's a great joy. We welcome you greatly. Come, send up the immortal fruits and wine to greet the guests. With this, those female immortals on the side took out the wine and fruits, placing them on the tables. Yi Mo was very calm. This Ji Sheng was very cunning. It seemed like he suddenly changed. His sentence made it seem like he not only was admitting wrong and also showed how seriously he took Yi Mo now. It was as though him ignoring Yi Mo didn't happen at all. The only reason he did this was to verify how much Yi and Ding Jia supported him. Yi Mo didn't care about the immortal fruits at all. He just got up and saluted with his fists. Yi Mo, greet Ji Sheng, immortal monarch master. I came to Wujia Sound River this time because I heard my wife Mu Xiaoyan was at your honored sect. So I came to take her away. Please fulfill my wish. Mu Xiaoyan. Ji Sheng, immortal monarch, repeated in confusion. This time he was really confused. Yes, Mu Xiaoyan. Yi came up to explain how Mu Xiaoyan was brought back by Wuyin Immortal Emperor and was probably at Wuyin Peak now. Martial ancestor Wuyin brought her back. Ji Sheng, immortal monarch, dazed. If it was some ordinary disciple, he probably would have agreed on Ding Jie and Yi's account. Ding Jie and Yi's immortal king title couldn't be seen at all on the immortal king tablet, and news of this had long gotten out. Ji Sheng, immortal monarch, also knew that their future would be far greater than his. Otherwise, he wouldn't be coming to greet them personally. But since this involved Wuyin martial ancestor, it was hard. Even he didn't dare to waste time at Wuyin Peak. This, Ji Sheng, immortal emperor, hesitated and still said, sect leader, if Mu Xiaoyan was an ordinary disciple, I can make the decision, but she was brought back by martial ancestor Wuyin. I can't make the decision. I have to wait until martial ancestor Wuyin comes back. Yi Mo immediately said, I'm very anxious if sect leader really can't make the decision. I don't dare to trouble you, but it should be fine for me to just see her, right? Ji Sheng hesitated again. To see her, one must go to Wuyin Peak. Martial ancestor Wuyin wasn't here, who would dare to go in. No, martial ancestor Wuyin isn't here. No one has the right to enter Wuyin Peak. Might be the sect leader, but I can't go in too. So I can't agree to your request. Ji Sheng could only say. Yi Mo was very desperate, but he knew he couldn't force his way here. Sect leader master. I'm a low heaven domain sect leader, and in terms of cultivation level, I'm also a Wanbei. I shouldn't be troubling you, but Xioyan is indeed my wife. If I don't see her, my heart really can't rest. Martial ancestor Wuyin went to the new realm. It's uncertain when she would come back. Wanbei wouldn't be able to wait till that time. Yi Mo tried to speak euphemistically, but before Yi Mo finished, a sneer sounded. How dare you? You're saying that you must see that Mu Xiaoyan. If we don't let you see, you're not going to go? As this voice sounded, a figure that made people unable to breathe appeared at this palace. Yi Mo took the forefront of the pressure and immediately retreated a few steps. Only now did people see an aggressive-looking youth in the palace. Ji Sheng, greet martial uncle Wu Hui. Ji Sheng quickly bowed and said. The rest of the female immortals in the palace also bowed. Wu Hui waved his hand to Ji Sheng and stared at Yi Mo. Is that so? Yi Mo resisted against the strong pressure and said, Yes, I must see her. Ha ha ha. Wu Hui, immortal emperor, laughed. A mere immortal king insect dares to act so cocky in front of me. I'm not going to let you see her. What are you going to do? Ding Jie and Yi almost couldn't take it when they didn't even face the pressure directly. One could imagine how much pain Yi Mo was in. Ding Jie quickly saluted with his fists. Qi He Emperor sect Ding Jie, greet Wu Hui, immortal emperor master. Yi Mo is Wanbei's. So what about Qi He Emperor sect? A little immortal king has no right to talk here. On Qi He Emperor sect's account, I won't kill you. Piss off. Then Wu Hui, Immortal Emperor, grabbed with Immortal Essence giant hand, and Ding Jie was thrown out. Yi Yi's face changed and got up too. However, she couldn't even speak and was thrown out as well. Seeing this, Yi Mo knew things weren't good. Wu Hui then stared coldly. You're not bad, a mere immortal king, but you can injure my sect's immortal monarch. The emperor shall see how strong you are. Then Wu Hui grabbed towards Yi Mo. Yi Mo's heart sunk. He finally knew what was going on. This Wu Hui, Immortal Emperor, didn't care about Mu Xiaoyan, but cared about how an immortal king could beat an immortal monarch. If he was caught, he would be dead for certain. Realizing this, Yi Mo punched out without hesitation. Space Shatter. Yi Mo used this at full power without hesitation. Immediately, 9 space-shattering storms formed. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Wu Hui's immortal essence, giant hand, dissipated, but Yi Mo was struck back flying. He spat a mouthful of blood and broke out of the palace. Seeing this battle, Jisheng, Immortal Monarch's face changed. He saw clearly that even he couldn't stop Yi Mo's punch. He didn't know Yi Mo was this strong, as he didn't receive news from Jishui, Immortal Monarch. If he knew Yi Mo was this strong, he wouldn't suggest using the means that Martial Uncle Wu Hui used. It wasn't easy for Wujia Sound River to reach today. It was extremely dumb to offend someone with terrifying potential. If they could kill him, it was fine, but if not, it would bring endless trouble to Wujia Sound River. Wu Hui didn't expect Yi Mo broke through his immortal emperor binding with one punch and charged out of the palace. No wonder Ji Shui was no match for you. You have some power indeed. Wu Hui rejoiced. The stronger Yi Mo was, the bigger his secret was. He was also shocked Yi Mo could break through this palace. Its formation wasn't the best, but was still a defense shielding formation. If one didn't know formation, even an immortal emperor might not be able to break through it. This meant that first, Yi Mo was a good immortal formation great master. Another was that Yi Mo might be a powerful body refinement immortal, or he can't break the formation with his body. Martial Uncle Wu Hui. Just when Wu Hui, Immortal Emperor, wanted to charge out, Jisheng, Immortal Monarch, called. You want to say this person has boundless potential. We shouldn't offend him before capturing him, right? Wu Hui, Immortal Emperor, said coldly. Jisheng, Immortal Monarch, quickly said, Wise Martial Uncle. Humph. Seal the sect now. If I let a mere immortal king leave, I would be too useless. Wu Hui, Immortal Emperor, said coldly. Bastard. Ding Jie cursed outside the sect. Bastard. Ding Jie cursed outside the sect. Yi asked desperately, Ding Jie, what do we do now? As soon as she said this, there was a rumbling sound. The Wujia Sound River they could see with their spirit sense was now gone. Wu Hui, that old bastard, sealed the sect because he doesn't want Yi Mo out. We're too weak now, it's pointless worrying. Ding Jie felt helpless. Yi had calmed down now. She was also thinking desperately for a way. Ding Jie suddenly said, Zhan Tai, we're friends with Yi Mo, right? Of course, without Brother Yi, I wouldn't be able to create my god art no matter what, and I wouldn't be able to get out of the title status tower and reach the top to write my name. Yi said without hesitation. Good. Ding Jie said, and continued, it's useless even if we charge in with our current power, plus we can't even get in. The only thing we can do is ask our sect for help. There was a sliver of disappointment in Yi's eyes. Martial Brother Ding. I'm afraid this is very hard. Although I'm the saint of Jiufan Immortal Pond. It's not because how strong I am, but because my talent is high. Although my master is very nice to me, she might not be able to persuade the Immortal Emperor in the sect to help Brother Yi against Wujia Sound River. Your sect would probably be the same too. There was a sliver of absolution in Ding Jie's eyes. Even if you don't say it, I know. There's a 90% chance that the Immortal Emperor in the sect wouldn't come help Yi Mo. If Wu Hui kept us to there, it would be easier, but Wu Jia Sound River didn't touch us at all. Our sect has no reason to intervene. Martial brother Ding, what do you mean? Yi looked at Ding Jia in confusion. Ding Jia said heavily that Wu Hui wouldn't attack Yi Mo for no reason. The only reason is that he feels Yi Mo's cultivation speed is really fast and could easily beat Ji Shui, Immortal Monarch. That's why he wanted to check Yi Mo's secrets. If I'm not wrong, Yi Mo is very dangerous in that formation. Then what do we do? Yi was also very desperate. Ding Jia said coldly, it's never late to get revenge. If I can't get my sect to help, then I will go to Mo, you immortal sect, and protect the sect first. No matter if Wu Jia Sound River would attack Yi Mo's sect, I must go help. When I'm strong enough, I will help Yi Mo get revenge. If I can't get help too, I will go with you. Yi said. The difference in power was too great, it made them both feel helpless. The reason Yi Mo could break out of this palace was just as Wu Hui, Immortal Emperor, guessed. He saw the formation clearly and used Immortal God Body to his advantage. In the first fight with Wu Hui, Immortal Emperor, he knew he was completely no match for him. The difference between Immortal Emperor and Immortal Monarch was even greater than Immortal King and Great Eternity Immortal. If he stayed to fight, it would be certain death. When Yi Mo broke out of the palace, he used instant transmission immediately, but not towards outside, but the inside. Since Wu Hui, Immortal Emperor, was attacking him, the formation must be sealed. Even if he was an Immortal Formation Grandmaster, he wouldn't be able to break open the formation quickly. Of course, Yi Mo knew that no matter which direction he used instant transmission in, the space ripples would be noticed. So after one instant transmission, Yi Mo immediately hid himself and used instant transmission to go back before changing direction. Yi Mo knew clearly that no matter which direction he went, he wouldn't be able to hide it from Wu Hui, Immortal Emperor. Wu Hui was only an Immortal Emperor primary stage, and he was this terrifying. If he encountered Immortal Emperor middle stage, or even tertiary stage, he would be certainly dead. Yi Mo could only rest his hopes on his power stealth cultivation method. Wu Hui immediately caught the space ripples from Yi Mo's instant transmission and sneered, he has some power indeed. A mere immortal king can instant transmission such a distance. No wonder he dares to come here. As he spoke, Wu Hui, Immortal Emperor, took a step and arrived at where Yi Mo was before. His smirk froze on his face. He couldn't feel the next space ripple. There was no way Wu Hui, Immortal Emperor, would believe a small immortal king could get away right under his eyes, but 5 minutes later, he realized he lost his target. Ji Sheng. Wu Hui yelled coldly. Ji Sheng immediately came up and said, Ji Sheng, greet Martial Uncle. Tell everyone in the sect about Immortal King to search for this person. He's definitely still in Wu Jia Sound River, and he has a powerful stealth cultivation method. Even I can't see through it. Hearing this, Ji Sheng's face changed. He feared the most that Yi Mo would get away. What are you scared of? I don't believe a mere immortal king would be able to escape from my hands when he's in the formation of the sect. Wu Hui, Immortal Emperor, was very unhappy with Ji Sheng's reaction and reproached. Yes, Ji Sheng will immediately arrange it. Ji Sheng, Immortal Monarch, was annoyed but had to agree. Wu Hui, Immortal Emperor, was the weakest Immortal Emperor in the Wu Jia Sound River and didn't reach Immortal Emperor for long, but his talent was very powerful. As an infinitely near level 7 Immortal Formation Grand Master, how could he not know that stealthing himself in the formation was dangerous? As soon as he got back to the guest palace, he carefully moved. Yi Mo just wanted to find a place to hide. It was impossible to leave Wu Jia Sound River now. Even if he could, he wouldn't leave. Xiaoyan was still here. Wu Hui stayed at where Yi Mo first went for 5 minutes. This time gave Yi Mo great help. He used this time to leave the guest palace and carefully move along another direction. For hours later, Wu Hui, Immortal Emperor, finally realized something was wrong. For hours had gone by, and the entire sect was searching. Wujia Sound River seemed big, but it really was nothing when the entire sect was searching. I understand. Wu Hui came back to the guest palace and started searching carefully. He finally realized why Yi Mo was completely gone after the first instant transmission. Yi Mo definitely instant transmission back immediately. However, when he realized this, for hours had gone. Such a cunning bastard. Wu Hui, Immortal Emperor, cursed and pointed at the few Immortal Formation Grandmaster and said, "Watch the sect formation closely. If there's any signs, tell me immediately." Yes. The Immortal Formation Masters bowed. Yi Mo was far from the guest palace now. He carefully controlled his qi, not daring to release it at all. He didn't even dare to go into the Golden Page world. Although the Golden Page world could turn into a speck of dust, it wasn't safer than him stealthing himself against an immortal emperor. Even the smallest speck of dust can be exposed. Luckily, Wu Yin and Wu Hua immortal emperors were in the sect, or it would be really hard to say if he would be caught or not. With a few Immortal Formation Masters joining in, there were a few times Yi Mo was almost caught. Yi Mo knew that if he stayed in one place, there would be less chance he would be caught. However, he came in not to avoid being caught, but to take away Xiaoyan. With a few Immortal Formation Masters joining in, there were a few times Yi Mo was almost caught. Yi Mo knew that if he stayed in one place, there would be less chance he would be caught. However, he came in not to avoid being caught, but to take away Xiaoyan. 12 hours later, Wu Hui, Immortal Emperor, was finally getting annoyed. His spirit sense ravaged the sect. He didn't even let go of some solitary cultivation places. Yi Mo was shocked. He knew that if he continued like this, he would eventually be exposed. The Immortal Emperor's spirit sense was scanning everywhere. When two immortal kings passed by Yi Mo really wanted to subjugate them and ask where Wuyin Peak was, but he knew that he couldn't do this. If he didn't do that, the Wu Hui Immortal Emperor might think he had left the Sound River. If he did this, then even an idiot would know he was still in here. No need to go ahead. The two main peaks have natural formation. Now that Wu Hua Martial Ancestor and Wu Yin Martial Ancestor both aren't at the sect, no one can go in. The Sound River is about to be activated. We'll go around and check out Qin Peak. Yi Mo heard this clearly and immediately rejoiced. When the two was far away, Yi Mo immediately dashed towards the direction they didn't go. After going for less than 15 minutes, Yi Mo heard this strange sound. At the start, he didn't care, but soon he felt things wasn't right. That sound was like worms that stuck to his bones. It went into his meridians and sea of consciousness, almost making him scream out loud. Yi Mo was shocked. This sound was too terrifying. If he didn't go into the Golden Page world and kept listening for 7 minutes, he wouldn't be able to stay stealthed. At the start, the sounds were only slivers, but after half a minute, the sound came in waves of the river about to flood. Yi Mo used the 3-birth chant to resist against this terrifying sound. No wonder this place was called Wujia Sound River. If he didn't think of a way to leave, he would have to go into the Golden Page world, or he would be exposed. Yi Mo didn't hesitate and immediately called out, "Small ginseng, small ginseng. I heard there's a natural formation here. It leads to the two main peaks. Take the Golden Page world and find this natural formation and go in." "Boss, it's right ahead. Leave it to me. I will get in as quickly as possible." Small ginseng patted its chest. "I'll go into the Golden Page world. Can you enter the natural formation before you can't withstand the natural formation?" Yi Mo wasn't certain if Small Ginseng would be able to last without his protection. Small Ginseng smiled. "Boss, I'm a natural immortal spirit. This sound doesn't have much effect on me, don't worry." Hearing this, Yi Mo immediately went into the Golden Page world. Small Ginseng took the Golden Page world and disappeared with lightning speed. In fact, Small Ginseng already brought the Golden Page world into the natural formation. 5 minutes later, Yi Mo came out of the golden page world. He found he was in a completely different place. The sound could still come in, but it was much weaker. Yi Mo's spirit sense scanned the 3 huge words, Wuyin Peak. At this moment, he finally breathed easy. Wu Hui, Immortal Emperor, would definitely not be able to come in here. Even if he knew he was here, Wu Hui, Immortal Emperor, wouldn't dare to come in unless he dared to break Wu Yin's natural formation. Yi Mo knew that he had to take away Xiaoyan before Wu Yin martial ancestor came back. Otherwise, he would be a bug in a jar. There were only a few low-level female immortals at Wu Yin Peak, no one else. Yi Mo's spirit sense scanned everywhere here and didn't worry about people knowing. Although there was a natural formation outside, the formations inside were everywhere. Yi Mo had to constantly break all sorts of formation. There was a top-level stealth formation in the depth of the Wu Yin Peak and a good-looking garden. There was a blue room inside and an extremely beautiful woman wearing a pale yellow dress sitting in a blue room. She had a troubled look on her face. "I won't believe your words. My husband told me that I must not give anyone my cultivation method." This woman suddenly said, but there was no one in the room. As soon as she said this, there was a sneer. "Mu Xiaoyan, stop being stubborn. Now, Wu Yin, this bitch isn't here. If she comes back, then even if you want to tell me you have no opportunity, tell me now. As long as I break free, I can help you." Clearly, this extremely beautiful woman wearing yellow dress was Mu Xiaoyan. When Mu Xiaoyan was hesitating, the voice said again, "Is your cultivation method important or finding your husband important? If you don't leave here quickly, then you would be possessed by Nuan Shiyu, that bitch, in a few 100 years. What do you think she brought you here for? If she was going to take you in as disciple, she would have long done so. Nuan Shiyu, that bitch, is pure with a mortal spirit root and a natural pill Dao body. You're exactly the same as her. The reason she hasn't possessed you yet is first to see if she can vindicate Dao, and second, she wants to see if she could find someone better." Mu Xiaoyan was confused. Since she was the most suitable for Nuan Shiyu, why did she want to find someone better? Mu Xiaoyan didn't ask, but that voice clearly knew what she thought and sneered. "Nuan Shiyu, that bitch, acts so cold and hates men. She extremely dislikes how you're not a virgin." Hearing this, Mu Xiaoyun's eyes showed longing. Luckily for her husband, if it wasn't for him, she might be possessed now already. Humph, don't rejoice too early. If she can't find someone suitable, the first thing she does after coming back would be possessing you. If you still want to see your husband, then tell me your husband. Do you think I would greed for your cultivation method? Luo Biue, is not low enough to greed for the cultivation method of a newly ascended cultivator. It's because your cultivation method has no element and has a sliver of God rune. It might help me break my restriction. Mu Xiaoyun hesitated and said, "But my husband." "Your husband? How are you so obstinate? From what you said before, your husband might be in that small world or on Earth. If you don't hurry up and break free and become powerful, then when your husband dies of old age, you might not see him. A mere cultivation method is nothing." The voice rebuked. Hearing this, Mu Xiaoyan made up her mind. "Luo Qianbei, my cultivation method is called Primordial Chaos Chant. When my husband gave it to me, he said it was left behind by a Qianbei called Mengjie. When Primordial Chaos first opened, Fate was not yet born. 3 birth is behind. Fate is before. How can it surpass Primordial Chant? At the beginning of Qi, nourish the mother of soul." Luo Biue was confused at the start, but hearing the latter parts, she completely forgot about it. Such almighty cultivation method made her feel it was unreal. She was certain not even the immortal realm had such top-level cultivation method. Rumble. A sound suddenly stopped Mu Xiaoyan reading the cultivation method. A veiled, extremely beautiful woman suddenly appeared in Mu Xiaoyan's room. The space waves allowed Mu Xiaoyan to know that this person broke the space restriction to come here. Good cultivation method. There's such cultivation method. I have never seen such God-level cultivation method. this extremely beautiful woman murmured. Qianbei. Mu Xiaoyan was shocked. She didn't expect this Luo Biwe, only heard her chant the cultivation method and could break free. Just how powerful was this person? Luo Biwe woke up and said, Xiaoyan, don't worry. I will definitely take you to leave. Nuan Shuyu, that bitch isn't at Wuyin Peak. It's our opportunity. Wait on the side. I'm going to take out transmission rune. Just when Luo Biwe wanted to take out a transmission rune from her sea of consciousness, the sound beams came in. She dazed and then suddenly laughed. The sound river is activated. This meant that someone has broken in. This is a perfect opportunity for us. Yimo had come to the center of Wuyin Peak. Small Ginseng's voice sounded, Boss, there's a mortal spirit source below here. It's probably the immortal range of Wuyin Peak. Yimo had come to the center of Wuyin Peak. Small Ginseng's voice sounded, Boss, there's a mortal spirit source below here. It's probably the immortal range of Wuyin Peak. Hearing this, Yimo thought he needed too much cultivation resources. The reason he only reached Immortal King middle stage after a few decades in the blue-gray dimension was because he didn't have cultivation resources. Thinking about this, Yimo immediately said, Small Ginseng, check where the immortal range is, and after you find it, tell me. I'm going to look for her. Before we find her, we can't touch the stuff here. Okay. Small Ginseng agreed and charged out of the Golden Page world and disappeared. In terms of speed, even Shadowless isn't as fast as Small Ginseng. Yimo's Spirit Sense domain and Spirit Sense blades immediately hacked out. He would hack everywhere with stealth restriction. When Yimo found some immortal spirit herb gardens, he would take them without hesitation. Yimo almost searched the entire Wuyin Peak and still found no signs of Xiaoyan. He became desperate. He was scared Wuyin had a small world or truth spirit world. That way he would never be able to know where Xiaoyan was. Crack! A light sound broke the restriction outside Mu Xiaoyan's room. Mu Xiaoyan looked at Luo Biwe in shock. Luo Qianbei, what is this? It's definitely the guy that Wu Jia Sound River is hunting. He came into here. We need to leave quickly. This guy can break the restrictions here. He's no simple character. Xiaoyan, do you have extra clothes? Give me one set. Luo Biwe took out a rune. Mu Xiaoyan took out a set of clothes to Luo Biwe, but there was this indescribable feeling in her heart as though she just needed to wait a little. Luo Biwe changed her clothes and said, Xiaoyan, we can go now. The sect ceiling formation is top level, but it can't stop my rune. But Luo Qianbei, I feel my husband isn't far. Mu Xiaoyan said. Luo Biyu sighed. Xiaoyan, I understand your feeling. I was just like you before. Although I don't know where your husband got this primordial chaos chant from, I'm certain that it's an extreme level cultivation method that steals the fortune of the world. It gives me the feeling that the better the talent, the faster you cultivate. People with weak talent can't cultivate this cultivation method at all. I don't know what your husband's talent is, but I'm certain it's not better than yours. Qianbei, you're saying that my husband hasn't ascended yet? Mu Xiaoyan looked at Luo Biwe in confusion. Luo Biwe nodded. Yes, I used this opportunity of Wuyin leaving in a rush to break free from the restriction with your cultivation method. I wanted to take you as my disciple, but your cultivation method is too powerful. I don't dare to be your master. Don't call me Qianbei anymore. Call me Sister Biwe. You just ascended, so I'm guessing your husband definitely hasn't ascended yet. According to what you said, you were accidentally teleported to a cultivation realm and was taken in by the top sect. That's why you had the opportunity to cultivate till immortal ascension. Your husband probably would have less chance in that small world. Nuan Shiyu, this bitch set me up and robbed my path of Dao vindication, but still can't vindicate Dao. I don't have the power to get revenge now, so I can only go into hiding. Xiaonan, you have the top cultivation method, but I can tell you're a very kind soul and you care about your husband a lot. Before you find him, Even if I take you away from Wujia Sound River, it would be very hard for you to survive alone in the cultivation realm. With your talent, it's not hard for you to join a big sect, but if Wuyin, that bitch, comes back, she definitely wouldn't let you go. Offending Wuyin for you. I don't think there's such a sect in the entire immortal realm. So eventually you might still get taken away by her. Sister Bue. Mu Xiaoyan was nervous. Luo Bue was right. Even if she escaped from Wujia Sound River, where could she go? Luo Bue said seriously, I'm going to hide and go into solitary cultivation if you're willing to come with me. Although my cultivation method isn't as good as yours, my knowledge of cultivation is far stronger than you. I can give you a few pointers. If you can become an immortal emperor in the future, you can search the entire 33 heavens, or you can even tear open the void and look at the magical continent. Seeing Mu Shaoran not talk, Luo Bue sighed, in reality, I don't know if your husband would still be alive when you have the ability to tear open the void, but even if he isn't, he's lucky to be able to find someone as loyal as you. Sister Bue, why don't you think I'm dumb? When I joined a sect in the cultivation realm, many people said I was dumb to long for a cultivator who wasn't even foundation establishment state. Mu Xiaoyan looked up at Luo Bue. Luo Bue sneered, dumb? Although I haven't seen your husband, I can tell he treats you very well. My husband treats me very, very well. There was a sliver of softness in Mu Xiaoyun's eyes. Those who call you dumb do so because they haven't found someone who treats them very well. So, they're jealous and angry and want to break apart all lovers and laugh hysterically. Luo Bue clenched her teeth. Sister Bue? Mu Xiaoyan said worriedly. Luo Bue waved her hand. I'll you about this in the future. Let's go first. We shouldn't stay here for long. Then Luo Bue spat out a rune and spat some essence blood on it before saying to Mu Xiaoyan, come over quickly and hold on to me tightly. Mu Xiaoyan knew she had no choice but to follow this Sister Bue. The transmission rune activated bright light. Mu Xiaoyan couldn't even see what was before her. Just a few seconds later, white light smashed out of the transmission rune, and the two disappeared in the light. The instant their rune left Wuyin Peak, Wu Hui, Immortal Emperor, noticed it and sneered. There's a transmission rune that can break our sect sealing formation. You're indeed no ordinary immortal king. I want to see how many good things you have. He has gone, I'll immediately chase. Wu Hui, Immortal Emperor, said, and then disappeared. Yi Mo immediately noticed the huge commotion caused by Luo Bue's rune. He soon came to Mu Xiaoyan's rune. The space ripples were still there. Yi Mo could immediately tell that it was caused by top-level transmission rune. Who would be here to use such high-level rune? Xiaoyan just ascended. She definitely didn't have the ability to use such rune. A familiar sensation came up his head. Yi Mo frowned and suddenly took out formation flags, setting up formation. He was endlessly close to level 7 Immortal Formation Grandmaster. As long as the people in this room didn't leave for too long, he could recove the image. 5 minutes later, Yi Mo had a crystal ball in his hand. Seeing the familiar face, Yi Mo's heart raced with overwhelming excitement. Xiaoyan told her cultivation method to Luo Bue. Luo Bue took away Luo Bue. Yi Mo could tell Luo Bue was very powerful. Yi Mo put away the crystal ball and let out a long sigh of relief. Xiaoyan was fine. He didn't know who Luo Bue was, but he could tell she meant no harm at all. With Mu Xiaoyan gone, Yi Mo didn't want to stay here anymore. Just when he wanted to call Small Ginseng sent a message. It had found the immortal range. There was 2 extreme grade immortal range. Yi Mo immediately came to where Small Ginseng was, and indeed, there were 2 extreme grade immortal range. Boss, let's take away both. Small Ginseng said. Yi Mo hesitated for a moment and said, never mind. Let's take one first, and we need to make it subtle. When I reach Immortal Emperor, I will come back and take all the immortal ranges away. With MOU immortal sect behind him, Yi Mo had to be careful. Rumbling sounds came. The entire Wuin Peak was shaking. Rumbling sounds came. The entire Wuin Peak was shaking. It's over, boss, we tried to be careful. Why did it still create such a commotion? Small Ginseng asked worriedly. Yimo's face changed and immediately said, This immortal spirit gathering formation means is far beyond mine. Small Ginseng, hurry up and go into the Golden Page world. I'm going to take both of these immortal ranges, and then we run. There was no need to keep being careful. Yi Mo took the 2 immortal ranges and dashed out of Wuin Peak. When he came out, he immediately knew that the sect sealing formation was open. His first reaction wasn't to be happy, but be worried. Xiaoyun and that woman left first. Wu Hui, Immortal Emperor, would definitely chase Xiaoyun thinking it was him. He couldn't let Wu Hui, Immortal Emperor, chase Xiaoyun. Yi Mo immediately dashed down. How are you still at Wujia Sound River? The first person to stop him was the sect leader, Jisheng, Immortal Monarch. Yi Mo stopped and looked coldly at Jisheng, Immortal Monarch. Sect leader Jisheng, I politely came to find someone, but your Wujia Sound River sealed the sect and sends an immortal emperor to hunt me. So you used a trick to send away martial uncle Wu Hui Dai. An immortal monarch tertiary stage released a golden sword. As soon as it was released, a 10 km long golden sword ray appeared, completely enveloping Yi Mo sneered. Good sword, but you're weak. At the same time, Yi Mo released Zisu Shatter Sky. Seeing this, Jisheng, Immortal Monarch's face changed. Yi Mo didn't even completely use this move before and broke martial uncle Wu Hui's binding. This time, the strike was fully released. Ji Yuan, Immortal Monarch, might not have it well. Without Immortal Emperor on the side, Yi Mo had no concerns. This blade drew a crazy lethal force, forcing away those immortal kings and low-level immortals. The nearby space was drawn nearby Zisu, forming a subtle sword mark. It was so shocking that people didn't even dare to scan it with spirit sense. It was as though if people were within range of it, they would be swept into the rune. Crack, the purple sword mark swiped across the sky, completely shattering Ji Yuan, Immortal Monarch's domain. As this purple sword ray struck the golden sword, the sword shook heavily and the golden ray immediately dimmed down. Rumbled Ji Yuan, Immortal Monarch, retreated a few km before stopping. A faint bloodstain appeared across his forehead, but Yi Mo didn't move at all and just looked coldly at Ji Yuan, Immortal Monarch. Ji Yuan, Immortal Monarch, was very shocked. He had never seen such a terrifying immortal king. Yi Mo was just Immortal King middle stage, but his power was stronger than an Immortal Monarch tertiary stage. No wonder he could escape from martial uncle Wu Hui. That strike seemed like he only lost a little, but if Yi Mo kept attacking, he would eventually lose for sure. Jisheng, Immortal Monarch, was more shocked. He had already heard about Yi Mo hurting Ji Shui in one move and thought it was Jie Shui underestimating Yi Mo. When he saw Yi Mo's Shatter Sky, he realized that at the sect, no one was a match for Yi Mo other than the 4 immortal emperors. At this moment, Yi Mo's voice sounded, Sect Leader Jisheng, I believe you have messaged Wu Hui, Immortal Emperor. I'll be waiting for him at the sect. I hope he doesn't make me wait for too long. Then Yi Mo got on Zisu and charged towards the sect doors. Seeing Yi Mo fly above their sect, no one dared to stop him. These few immortal monarchs were very furious, and just when they were thinking about if they should gain up on Yi Mo, they saw Yi Mo stop again and turn back, saying coldly, Today I could have caused a bloodbath in this place, but I didn't. If something happens to my MOU, immortal sect, then don't blame me for coming back. Then Yi Mo left in a purple shadow. A mere immortal king dares to be this cocky. An immortal monarch, primary stage, was shaking with anger. Wujia Sound River was one of the top sects in the entire Grand Heaven Domain. Jisheng, Immortal Monarch, looked coldly at this immortal monarch primary stage and said, Have you seen an immortal king who can easily beat an immortal monarch tertiary stage? He's definitely not Immortal King primary stage. An Immortal Monarch middle stage said heavily. Ji Xing nodded. I know. Just from how his move swept the lethal force and space itself. Even an immortal King Peak stage can't do it. It's not that they can't do it, but they don't dare to do so. If an immortal king used such a powerful move, his own body would collapse before he hurt his opponent. Yet, after using such a move, he was completely fine. The 4 immortal emperors of our sect all aren't here. Otherwise, how can he be so cocky here? Another immortal monarch asked unhappily. But this time no one said a thing. When Yemo was here, Wu Hui, immortal emperor, was not only here, but also tricked away. Wu Hui looked coldly at the space ripples. He was going to catch Yemo no matter what. At this moment, he felt a message in his communication bead. His spirit sense scanned in and immediately saw the news. When he saw that Yemo was still in the sect and even injured an immortal monarch and took the 2 extreme great immortal ranges of Wuyin Peak, he almost spat blood. He didn't expect the person he chased for so long wasn't even Yemo. Just when he was hesitating whether he should keep hunting these people, the second news came. An immortal king was waiting for him at the door of the sect. Being slapped in the face like this, Wu Hui, immortal emperor, was furious. For the first time, he felt like he was a clown being played. He turned back without hesitation and released a teleportation rune. As soon as Wu Hui turned, Luo Biwa felt it. She let out a long sigh and said, I didn't expect this guy's chasing ability was this strong. I was almost caught by him. Luckily this guy left, or I really wouldn't be able to keep up. Sister Biwa, why did he go back? Mu Xiaoyan immediately asked. Luo Biwa thought for a moment and said, he's actually not here to chase us. If I'm not wrong, he's probably chasing the guy who made them open the Sound River, and then he realized he was chasing the wrong people, so he went back. But we need to leave quickly too. Best to leave you heaven immediately. 3 months later, Yemo controlled the space-time boat and scrambled everywhere in the void. Only now did he realize how Kai Mi felt when he chased him. Since Wujia Sound River, he was chased by Wu Hui endlessly. He was only planning to stay at Sound River for a few minutes and leave. He wasn't really dumb enough to wait for Wu Hui, immortal emperor, to come back. But even in just that few minutes, Wu Hui, immortal emperor, came back. Wu Hui, immortal emperor, actually had the rune to teleport back to Wujia Sound River. Yemo didn't know this because he had never stayed at a big sect before. In the end, he kept running, leaving from Yu Heaven into the void, but the Wu Hui, immortal emperor, still kept chasing him and was closing in. Wu Hui, immortal emperor, cursed. He lacked too much in terms of space god art. If it was some immortal emperor who had mastery in space god art, Yemo would have been caught already. But when he saw that Yemo had a space-time boat, he wanted to catch Yemo even more. Boss, let's go to blue-gray space and ask those star beasts for help. Small Ginseng also knew that running like this wouldn't get them anywhere. Okay. Yemo flew crazily towards the blue-gray space. 5 days later, when Wu Hui, immortal emperor, was about to catch Yemo dashed into the bluish-gray space. When Yemo came in, he immediately knew he made the wrong decision. There was not a single star beast left. Wu Hui, immortal emperor, was right behind him. In his desperation, Yemo charged towards that new realm. Terrifying tearing power came. Yemo put away the space-time boat, but breathed easy. This tearing power wasn't much to him. He was already immortal god body power. His body was stronger than an ordinary immortal emperor body. When Yemo landed, he felt this wasn't the ground but the hardest metal magic artifact. Before he could keep running, tens of tearing beams and lightning arcs swept over. When Yemo landed, he felt this wasn't the ground but the hardest metal magic artifact. Before he could keep running, tens of tearing beams and lightning arcs swept over. These attacks were silent. Yemo couldn't even feel the killing intent from them before they smashed onto his body. A few sizzling sounds occurred. A few blood marks appeared on Yemo's body. Yi-Mo was very shocked. 10s more tearing beams mixed with lightning wept over. There were even flame and rocks in between them. Yi-Mo released that this wasn't someone ambushing him. There were these dangerous places everywhere. In other words, if he was an immortal god body, he would have been killed as soon as he came here. Yi-Mo's spirit sense scanned out. Indeed, where his spirit sense could reach, it was filled with lightning arcs, tearing beams, space fissures, flames, and rock flows. There were no immortal spirit herbs at all. When the beams struck the ground, they only created some sparks. Yi-Mo took in a cold breath. Just what was this place? Even an immortal monarch tertiary stage would be dead, for certain, if he wasn't a body refinement immortal. He would also have to be at least immortal spirit body too. Only immortal emperors could survive here, and even they would have to constantly face the endless dangers. Yi-Mo was just dazed for a moment and rejoiced. This place was made just for him. That old bastard Wu Hui had chased him for a few months. Now it was time to get payback. Thinking about this, Yi-Mo stopped. Although the danger here was powerful, it couldn't truly harm his immortal god body. Yi-Mo didn't wait for long before another space ripple appeared. The next moment, Wu Hui Immortal Emperor appeared in this space. Wu Hui Immortal Emperor was also attacked by the dangers here. He thought that Yi-Mo was ambushing him, so he sneered and released an umbrella. The umbrella spun a little and blocked countless attacks. Yi-Mo sneered but didn't attack. He just watched Wu Hui Immortal Emperor from the side. Soon, Wu Hui realized that Yi-Mo wasn't behind all these attacks. He had come to an extremely terrifying place. Finally, Yi-Mo couldn't resist anymore. He waved his hands, and rumbling sounds came into the void. Countless black with golden-rimmed lightning mixed in with the dangers in the dimension. In a short while, a heaven-covering lightning feast completely formed, and even took away all the lethal force in this void, forming a lightning spear. This spear immediately reached out to be 10 kilometers long. It tore through the void and pierced down. Yi-Mo could use lightning sand against an immortal emperor without resistance. This satisfied him greatly. He didn't conserve his immortal essence and spirit sense at all. This terrifying fierce strike was noticed by Wu Hui Immortal Emperor firsthand. He saw Yi-Mo, who didn't even block the attacks targeting him, and knew that he was at least an immortal, god body, refinement immortal. Fighting Yi-Mo in here was asking for trouble. Rumble the black lightning spear fell. Wu Hui could only barely release his yang dragon wave mirror. Upon release, it immediately shot out a rainbow light illuminating this space. The black lightning spear, mixed with destructive chi, smashed on the mirror. The mirror's vibrance immediately dimmed down and shrunk, but Yi-Mo's lightning spear was gone too. Yi-Mo was shocked. This immortal emperor was too savage. This was the first time his lightning spear was completely blocked without doing anything, and this was when Wu Hui Immortal Emperor had to focus on defending himself too. If it wasn't this space, he had no right to even talk to the Immortal Emperor. Wu Hui could only suppress his anger and keep inserting immortal essence into his umbrella. Although he was Immortal Emperor, he was no body refinement cultivator. Yi-Mo rejoiced and then smashed out Z using crevice. You coward! Wu Hui Immortal Emperor was almost about to spit blood. Fighting Yi-Mo here was like fighting countless people plus Yi-Mo. But Yi-Mo didn't care at all. He was full of annoyance after being chased for so long. He even hunted a divine emperor for many years before, and now he was hunted by an immortal emperor for a few months. How could he let this go? If he didn't find an opportunity to get back at him, he wouldn't be Yi-Mo crack. Zisu swept the void lethal force whirlpool and clashed with the Yang Dragon Wave mirror again, immediately sweeping away all the nearby lightning arcs and sword rays. Wu Hui breathed easy. The umbrella in his hands turned into a 30 kilometers long spear and smashed at Yi-Mo. The dark spear seemed to have pierced from outer heavens and mixed with dark star ray, tearing the void between Yi-Mo and Wu Hui Immortal Emperor. Eventually, The entire space was filled with darkness. Yi Mo felt difficulty of breathing. Wu Hui, Immortal Emperor's spear, made Yi Mo realize just how big the difference between him and Wu Hui, Immortal Emperor, was, and this was under the help of this space. Just one move from Wu Hui, and it made him feel he couldn't resist it at all. Yi Mo didn't dare to hesitate at all. He released World Rock and God Art Tang Meng Rao. This was the first time he used an offensive God Art as a defensive measure. The World Rock turned into a huge mountain that had 100 km radius. The mountain passed through the void and smashed at that terrifying black spear. At the same time, he punched out twice using Shatter Sky. Rumble, 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 the entire space rattled heavily. Huge black spear rays were smashed away by the World Rock, creating sharp sounds. The mountain immediately dimmed down after clashing with the spear. It flew out like a comet and turned into a rock. Meanwhile, the black spear just dimmed down a little and kept attacking Yi Mo. So powerful. Yi Mo was very shocked, but released Shatter Sky at the same time. He used 2 Shatter Sky attacks consecutively, and more than 10 lethal force marks expanded out, forming lethal force whirlpools, which instantly clashed with the huge mountain like spear ray. The terrifying explosion sounded in this space. The lethal force whirlpool and the black spear ray entwined and almost tore everything here. With the final explosion, Yi Mo was smashed out many km away. Even though he was a mortal god body, his fist was bloody and his bones were visible. Meanwhile, Wu Hui, Immortal Emperor, didn't have the time to kill Yi Mo before the huge spear turned back into an umbrella, stopping the endless beams and lightning arcs. He had the definite upper hand when he fought with Yi Mo and wasn't injured the slightest bit. But he wasn't as calm as he looked. Yi Mo was a mere immortal king middle stage and fought him head-on. However, he was only struck away. Not even his body was destroyed. This was too shocking. If Yi Mo could recover in a short time and continue holding him here, it wouldn't be good for him. At first, he might have the definite upper hand and keep heavily injuring Yi Mo, but as time went on, it would be hard to say. Just in the time he injured Yi Mo, the space beams created a few blood gashes on him. He wouldn't care about these few marks. But if Yi Mo kept holding him here and his wounds increased, what would happen? Wu Hui, Immortal Emperor, just hoped Yi Mo learned his lesson and would run away for now. However, his wish was bound to not be realized. Yi Mo ate a few pills and released Zisu without even resting, bringing out a tearing purple ray and hacking over with the sword god Art Crevice. Seeing Yi Mo still dare to come back after being beaten like that, Wu Hui, Immortal Emperor, almost spat blood in anger, but he had to face all the dangers in this dimension. Seeing Yi Mo still dare to come back after being beaten like that, Wu Hui, Immortal Emperor, almost spat blood in anger, but he had to face all the dangers in this dimension. Yi Mo's Crevice God Art carried a sliver of space law, and once released, it would gather the nearby space and everything in it. Now, this strike brought together all the lightning strikes and sword rays which amplified his attack. Wu Hui, Immortal Emperor, had to release Yang Dragon Wave Mirror to defend, and the beam from the mirror struck Yi Mo away once again. Yi Mo's terrifying strike was also annihilated by the mirror. However, before Yi Mo fell to the ground, another lightning sand came. The mirror again blocked the lightning sand. Yi Mo seemed to have gone mad. Lightning Spear, Crevice, and World Rock all kept attacking. The explosions created waves after waves of space ripples, but they were instantly swept away by the lethal force in this space. Yi Mo was struck flying again and again, but kept coming back to attack. Eventually, Yi Mo just considered Wu Hui, Immortal Emperor, a cultivation sandbag. This sandbag was indeed powerful. Yi Mo's injuries added up, but so was Wu Hui, Immortal Emperor. Because Yi Mo was immortal god body refinement level, not only did he receive less damage, but his recovery was much faster than Wu Hui, Immortal Emperor. Eventually, Wu Hui was going mad. Yi Mo was too tenacious. He ignored ordinary damage and kept coming back. He felt ravaged by this space and couldn't give Yi Mo a lethal blow. 6 hours later, Wu Hui, Immortal Emperor, finally couldn't take it anymore. He didn't want to keep fighting with Yi Mo like this. He just went on his mirror and left. The situation was already like this. How could Yi Mo let Wu Hui, Immortal Emperor, go? Without hesitation, he chased with Zisu. There was many dangers here, so Yi Mo didn't want to take out space-time boat. This way, his speed was much slower than Wu Hui, Immortal Emperor. Luckily, Wu Hui, Immortal Emperor, had to defend against the dangers in this space, and so his speed was slowed. Meanwhile, Yi Mo had no concerns at all. Before it was Wu Hui, Immortal Emperor, hunting Yi Mo. Now it was Yi Mo hunting Wu Hui, Immortal Emperor. Being hunted by a mere immortal king middle stage. Wu Hui wanted to spit blood in humiliation. When he couldn't hold in his anger anymore, he would stop to fight with Yi Mo for a while. However, even though he struck Yi Mo away countless times, he couldn't kill Yi Mo. Eventually, Wu Hui, Immortal Emperor, focused on running away. He knew that in such place it was too hard to kill an immortal god body refinement immortal. He wanted to find a place without these disasters. Only in such place would he be able to kill Yi Mo. However, the two chased for a few days, and this dimension was still filled with all sorts of dangers. The reason Yi Mo didn't want to let Wu Hui go was because he was scared if he did, Wu Hui would immediately go to MOU, Immortal Sect. With this opportunity, Yi Mo clearly wouldn't waste it, as he really had a chance to kill Wu Hui, Immortal Emperor. This was the second month Wu Hui, Immortal Emperor's speed clearly slowed down. Yi Mo could catch up to Wu Hui, Immortal Emperor now, but he didn't completely stop Wu Hui. He just kept coming up and using a few lightning sands. Every time Wu Hui was about to fight with his life, he would run away. If Wu Hui didn't fight with his life, Yi Mo would fight him head-on. After being hunted for 2 months, Wu Hui really had lost all his temper. Wu Hui knew that if this continued, he might even eventually get killed. He really didn't want to admit this, but this was reality. He even felt that Immortal King could even cultivate while hunting him. In fact, Wu Hui, Immortal Emperor, was right. Yi Mo really could cultivate, but he was cultivating body refinement. After another month of hunting, Wu Hui, Immortal Emperor, finally stopped. He knew that running would just waste his power. Just what do you want? Wu Hui looked hatefully at Yi Mo and asked. Yi Mo said plainly, "It's not what I want, but what you want." "I politely went to Wujia Sound River to visit, but what did you say?" "You said you're not going to let me see my friend. What am I going to do?" "I'm going to tell you now. I want to kill you, old bastard." Wu Hui looked younger than Yi Mo, but Yi Mo kept calling him old bastard. This made him almost attack again, but he forced himself to stop. Fighting had no benefits for him at all. Seeing Yi Mo finish, and then about to release that stone, Wu Hui, Immortal Emperor, quickly said, "Wait, I've never even heard of that Mu Shaoyan. Since you say it's at Wuyin Peak, then go find her at Wuyin Peak. Why are you coming to me?" "Is Wuyin Peak's Wuyin Immortal Emperor from your sect?" "I came to the sect for the sect leader. What business did you have in this? You had to come out and mind someone else's business?" Yi Mo sneered. Wu Hui, Immortal Emperor's face was bleak, and seeing Yi Mo about to fight again, he could only force down his extreme fury and say, "What do you want for Yudo? Stop following me." Yi Mo sneered. "Don't make it sound so nice. I'm not following you, I'm hunting you, get it? Hunting you, idiot." Then Yi Mo released World Rock again. He even had anticipation for what an Immortal Emperor possessed. At the same time, a blue light shot into the sky in the distance. It soared up 10 kilometers high and was frostily shining. Yi Mo and Wu Hui looked. They immediately knew someone was fighting here. This person was at least Immortal Emperor level. Wu Hui immediately flew towards this blue light. Yi Mo put away the World Rock and followed over. When Wu Hui, Immortal Emperor, arrived, those two fighting immediately stopped. They were both immortal emperor middle stage and far stronger than Yi Mo. Even Wu Hui wasn't enough to stand up to them. Wu Hui, immortal emperor, what are you doing? One of the two fighting was an extremely ethereal-looking middle-aged man. Wu Hui, immortal emperor's hair was messy and was covered in wounds. If it wasn't that Yi Mo was only immortal king middle stage, he would even suspect Yi Mo hunted Wu Hui, immortal emperor, over. He was more confused how an immortal king middle stage could come here. Wu Hui, immortal emperor, immediately saluted with his fists. Wujia Sound River, Wu Hiu, greet Zheng Ren, immortal emperor. Seeing Zheng Ren, immortal emperor's confused look, Wu Hui, immortal emperor, didn't even care about saving his face. He was about to die. So he said without hesitation, Brother Zheng Ren, Wu Hui is really ashamed. I was hunted all the way over by this little bastard. Please help me. Zheng Ren, immortal emperor, looked dazedly at Yi Mo, and his heart was full of shock. He didn't expect Yi Mo, a mere immortal king, could really hunt Wu Hui, immortal emperor, to this degree. Did he hide his power? That immortal emperor fighting with Zheng Ren also looked at Yi Mo's side with surprise, but didn't plan to leave. This person ignored our Wujia Sound River and stole the immortal range of our Wuyin Peak. Please help a little brother Zheng Ren. We would be very grateful. Wu Hui added. Yi Mo laughed and saluted with his fists to Zheng Ren, immortal emperor. Gong Hua Heaven Mo, you immortal sect leader. Yi Mo greet. Zheng Ren, immortal emperor master. Wu Hui, this old bastard, is twisting the truth. Please see this. Zheng Ren, immortal emperor, Qian Bei. With such words, Zheng Ren, immortal emperor, and that other immortal emperor was completely dumbfounded. What was going on? If Yi Mo was an immortal emperor hiding his power, he would never call Zheng Ren, immortal emperor, Qian Bei. No immortal emperor wanted to call another immortal emperor Qian Bei. The only possibility was that Yi Mo didn't hide his power and was really an immortal king. Plus, Yi Mo said he was a sect leader from the low heaven domain. There would be no way an immortal emperor would be the sect leader of a low heaven domain sect. But an immortal king hunting an immortal emperor? This was too absurd. Just what is going on? Zheng Ren, immortal emperor, was shocked for a long while before asking. Yi Mo recounted what happened when he went to Wujia Sound River. Yi Mo recounted what happened when he went to Wujia Sound River. Zheng Ren, immortal emperor, realized what had happened before Yi Mo even finished the entire story. Yi Mo had shockingly high potential. Even if Yi Mo didn't have much potential, he wouldn't help this clearly unreasonable Wu Hui, immortal emperor. Wu Hui, immortal emperor, clearly thought Yi Mo had secrets and felt he had Yi Mo for certain, but ended up getting hunted by Yi Mo. How could Zheng Ren, immortal emperor, get himself in this mess? Seeing Zheng Ren, immortal emperor, not talk anymore, Wu Hui, immortal emperor, immediately realized it was impossible to rely on Zheng Ren, immortal emperor. He didn't know the other immortal emperor at all. Seeing this, Wu Hiu could only say to Yi Mo, if you dare to do anything to me, then Wujia Sound River will completely annihilate your MOU immortal sect. Yi Mo said coldly, if anyone from MOU immortal sect is harmed due to your sect, then I, Yi Mo, swear that in my life I will turn Wujia Sound River to dust. Hearing this, Wu Hui, immortal emperor, just felt shivers down his back. Even Zheng Ren, immortal emperor, felt a little cold. They didn't believe Yi Mo was bluffing with how Yi Mo could hunt Wu Hui, immortal emperor, as an immortal king. If Yi Mo reached immortal emperor, Wujia Sound River would be nothing to him. Zheng Ren, immortal emperor, rejoiced that he didn't casually attack Yi Mo. With how Yi Mo hunted an immortal emperor, even if he attacked Yi Mo, he probably wouldn't be able to kill Yi Mo. If Yi Mo got away, then there would be endless trouble. Haha, great. I, Hichong, admire people like you. Just kill this guy. I promise no one will stop you. The other immortal emperor, middle stage, raised his thumb and said. Zheng Ren, immortal emperor, heard this and felt extremely unsatisfied, but he was calm-mannered and said nothing. Wu Hui, immortal emperor, hated Hichong, immortal emperor, but didn't dare to say anything. After hesitating for a moment, Zhengren, Immortal Emperor, said, Yi Mo, I feel it's not good to form enemies. Plus, you're the leader of a sect. There are many more things here waiting for us to dig out. It's really not worth it to waste on fighting. Yi Mo knew what Zhengren, Immortal Emperor meant. It was that him hunting Wu Hui, Immortal Emperor, had been exposed. If he killed Wu Hui, Immortal Emperor, then it was forming death enmity with Wujia Sound River. Zhengren, Immortal Emperor, reminded him to think about his sect. Before Yi Mo answered, Zhengren said to Wu Hui, Immortal Emperor, the conflict between you two isn't too deep. As long as you promise you won't attack Mou Immortal Sect, I believe Yi Mo wouldn't keep hunting you. Zhengren, Immortal Emperor, predicted that Yi Mo wouldn't keep attacking Wu Hui after this was exposed, so he tried to be a mediator. Wu Hui, Immortal Emperor, knew this was his only chance, so he quickly said, as long as sect leader Yi is willing to let go of this conflict, Wu Hui would never have any excuse and wouldn't touch Mou Immortal Sect at all. Yi Mo sneered. If he didn't know that Xiaoyan had left, then he would subjugate this Wu Hui if not kill him. But now that Xiaoyan had left and he got 2 immortal ranges, he didn't need to continue this conflict. Yi Mo sneered, in that case I don't mind, but because you hunted me I took 2 immortal ranges. If you're willing to let go of this conflict, I won't care about that 2 immortal range. Wu Hui, Immortal Emperor, quickly added, How come I heard that those 2 don't belong to you, but Wuyin, Immortal Emperor? If she comes to me, what do I do? Yi Mo asked, I promise Wuyin won't come for you. I'm an Immortal Emperor of Wujia Sound River. Do you not believe me? I will do as I say. If Wuyin comes to you, I will take it. Wu Hui promised quickly. Yi Mo raised a crystal ball and said, Hope you honor your promise. Even though his words were recorded, there was nothing Wu Hui could do. Yi Mo put away the crystal ball and walked to that other Immortal Emperor middle stage and saluted with his fists. Thank you, Qian Bei, for helping. Haha, no problem. I like making friends like you. Calling Qian Bei is too polite. I'm He Chong, just in solo cultivator. He Chong, Immortal Emperor, laughed. I'm Yi Mo, sect leader of Mou Immortal Sect. You're welcome to come visit Brother He. Yi Mo said, Okay, I will definitely go, but now there are lots of good things here. With them both saying there were good things here, Yi Mo couldn't resist anymore. He lacked good things now the most. He quickly saluted with his fists and asked, Zhengren, Immortal Emperor Master, Brother He Chong, just what is here? Zhengren, Immortal Emperor, immediately said, There are large amounts of immortal range buried under here, and a top-level fruit called Wu Qin fruit. It has no flower, leaf, root, nor branch, but it can wash off the dust in one's heart. It's beneficial in vindicating Tao. All the immortal emperors here all want this fruit, but it's very rare. However, there's quite some immortal range. Yi Mo asked in confusion, How does this Wu Qin fruit survive then? Even Wu Hui, Immortal Emperor, was listening carefully on the side. This fruit only exists in this space and floats in the lethal forces. It's often poured by the lightning arcs, beams, and flames. If a live person neared it, the fruit would flee. I saw it once since coming in, but I had no fortune in getting it. This fruit has a light golden color. Even now, I don't know why this fruit wouldn't be destroyed here. Zhengren, Immortal Emperor, sighed. Yi Mo sighed. This world is too magical. There are all sorts of things never heard before appearing. Zhengren, Immortal Emperor Qian Bei, I heard many immortal emperors have come in here. How come there's only you and Brother He Chong? Yi Mo asked. Zhengren, Immortal Emperor, immediately said, Because there's no way out in here, and then immortal emperors found immortal range here, so people split off to find immortal range. Then, with the appearance of Wu Chen fruit, many people started searching for that. I fought with He Chong because there is immortal range here. Although Yi Mo respected Zhengren, Immortal Emperor, a lot, Zhang Ren, Immortal Emperor, didn't dare to underestimate Yi Mo. He had considered Yi Mo as someone equal. A being who could hunt an immortal emperor as a mortal king was definitely no simple character. Now, the four of them stood here. Only Yi Mo didn't use any defense magic artifact. This meant that Yi Mo was at least an immortal god body refinement cultivator. He wasn't dumb enough to offend someone with such huge potential. He Chung smiled and said, "Brother Yi Mo, it's not easy to find immortal range here. You see nothing here, but there's actually an immortal range below. In this space, if the lethal force forms an arc, it means that there's immortal range below. The bigger the arc, the better the immortal range." Hearing this, Yi Mo studied the surrounding carefully, and indeed found that the light 9 arcs, beams and flames formed an arc shape. "Zhang Ren, we've fought for quite long. We can't do anything to each other. Let's split these two equally. If it's 2, then 1 each. If it's 3, then..." He Chong, Immortal Emperor, subconsciously looked at Yi Mo and Wu Hui. Wu Hui quickly said, "I don't want one." There was a sliver of contempt, and continued, "Then, brother, ye can have one." Since He Chong said this, Zhang Ren, Immortal Emperor, clearly wouldn't say no to offend Yi Mo. He nodded, "Okay, let's do that." Just when they released their magic artifact to dig this place, Yi Mo saw a faint golden ray come over. Before it reached near, he smelled a faint aroma. This was Wu Qin fruit. Yi Mo immediately realized what this was. Then 8 immortal emperors appeared. Clearly they were all chasing this Wu Qin fruit. Yi Mo had large amounts of experience catching corner soul weed and void flying snow. He knew that something as lively as this would be extremely hard to catch if he was chasing this behind. A few immortal emperors all couldn't catch up to it. Yi Mo had large amounts of experience catching corner soul, weed, and void flying snow. He knew that something as lively as this would be extremely hard to catch if he was chasing this behind. A few immortal emperors all couldn't catch up to it. The Wu Chen fruit might not be as fast as the void flying snow, but it was more lively than void flying snow. It had a sliver of space attribute too. Sometimes you were clearly just about to catch Wu Chen fruit, but it would suddenly speed up or jump through space and disappear. If it was an immortal emperor chasing the Wu Chen fruit, it would be long gone. These immortal emperor could catch the weak ripples in space, and thus didn't lose track of it. Seeing the Wu Chen fruit fly towards him, Yi Mo immediately stealthed his chi and didn't even use Spirit Sense Net. If Spirit Sense Domain or Net could catch it, the fruit would have been long caught. Yi Mo's guess was really right. If Wu Chen fruit was touched by any spirit sense, it would immediately dash away. When the Wu Chen fruit was near Yi Mo suddenly reached out his hand, and a jade box stopped the Wu Chen fruit. Then Yi Mo put restrictions on the box and put it in his storage ring. Now, these few immortal emperor landed around everyone. They were all very cunning. Although Yi Mo was only a mere immortal king, no one attacked immediately. Yi Mo stood in this space without a defensive magic artifact, and the nearby lightning arcs and beams didn't seem to affect him at all. They would immediately disappear upon striking Yi Mo. Clearly, Yi Mo was at least immortal god body. In the immortal realm, immortal spirit body was already very rare. An immortal god body was extremely rare. Some people had never even seen someone who could practice body refinement to such level. He, Brother Zhengren and Wu Hui, Immortal Emperor. One person came and saluted with his fists. Zhang Ren, Immortal Emperor, quickly saluted with his fists and greeted. Yi Mo saw clearly that there was no Grand Emperor amongst these 7 Immortal Emperors. There was probably no Wuyin Immortal Emperor too. The strongest was an old man. He heard Zhang Ren, Immortal Emperor, call him Nong Yan, Immortal Emperor. He was Immortal Emperor tertiary stage. Yi Mo found strangely that these Immortal Emperors all knew Zhang Ren, Immortal Emperor, and Wu Hui, but not Hichong Immortal Emperor. One Immortal Emperor middle stage looked at Yemo in confusion and asked, "Who is he?" "Oh, this is Gong Hua Heaven Mou Immortal Sect leader Yemo," Zhang Ren Immortal Emperor introduced. Yemo went up and saluted with his fists. "Yemo, greet Qian Bais. You're really an immortal king." That immortal emperor asked again, clearly confused how an immortal king could appear here. But then he immediately realized Yemo was an immortal king, but he was an immortal, god, body, refinement immortal. Yemo didn't seem very old, but not only was he immortal god body, but also an immortal king. Clearly he had quite some secrets. Everyone said nothing, but a few immortal emperor was already brewing intentions for Yemo. Yemo cultivated three-birth chant and immediately felt a faint sense of danger. But Yemo wasn't worried. In this space, he was no match for these immortal emperor indeed, but he could run away. Zhang, Ren Immortal Emperor, sneered. If Yemo was so easily mugged, he would have been in Wu Hui Immortal Emperor's hands already. No one knew Hichong Immortal Emperor, and he didn't go up to greet anyone. He just kept smashing his magic artifact against the hard earth. At this moment, the dense immortal spirit chi came up, and everyone's eyes were immediately caught by the immortal spirit chi. Haha, it really is 3 extreme grade immortal range. I'll take one first. Hichong laughed and took out one. Now, these immortal emperor just realized that Zhang Ren Immortal Emperor and them already found immortal range here. Extreme grade immortal range was hot, but no one fought for it. If it was outside, they might be fighting over it, but in this space, it's not hard to find them as long as you tried. Zhang, Ren Immortal Emperor, went up and took the second one. Just when everyone thought Wu Hui Immortal Emperor would be taking the third one, they found that the Immortal King Middle Stage, EMO, went up and took the third one. These Immortal Emperors were immediately in shock. There were only 3 immortal ranges. There was no way EMO had a right to take it. Why didn't Wu Hui Immortal Emperor take it? Wu Hui felt he was embarrassed to the extreme, but even so, he didn't want to explain it. Haha, Hichong will be leaving first. Brother Yemo, this is my communication bead. Contact me if you need. Then Hichong disappeared. Yemo took it and then saluted with his fists to Zhang, Ren Immortal Emperor, and a few Immortal Emperor Masters. Wan Bei will be leaving. Wait. That Immortal Emperor Middle Stage, asking who Yemo was, immediately stopped him. He thought Yemo was related to Hichong Immortal Emperor, and that's why Zhang Ren Immortal Emperor and Wu Hui were concerned. But now Hichong Immortal Emperor left Yemo a communication. Clearly, the two didn't know each other before. A few other Immortal Emperors also came up. They had made up their mind, if Yemo had a top-level body refinement cultivation method, they must get a copy no matter what. Yemo stopped but didn't talk. He respected their power but didn't mean he was scared. He felt these Immortal Emperors had bad intentions, so he wasn't going to polite with the rest of them. I'm Demon Joyce Sect X Xianfeng. Sect leader, you could come here alone with just Immortal King power. You're clearly not ordinary. Xianfeng Immortal Emperor seemed polite, but spoke in a Qianbei tone. Yemo didn't like Demon Joy Sect people already, and with this tone, Yemo didn't like him even more. Xianfeng didn't seem to care if Yemo would reply or not, and just said, "We chased that Wu Qin fruit over. You're quite lucky to be able to stop it for us." Yemo sneered and said nothing. He wanted to see how shameless Xianfeng Immortal Emperor. Seeing Yemo still not talk, Xianfeng Immortal Emperor was a little unhappy. He sneered as Qianbais, "We wouldn't ask a Wanbei to help for no reason. If you give over the Wu Qin fruit, I will reward you a few pills." So this means you guys were growing the Wu Chen fruit here. Yemo sneered. Xianfeng Immortal Emperor's face sunk. "You're a mere immortal king. What use do you have for it? Do you not want to take it out?" "You're right. I don't like to take out my things," Yemo said while running his immortal essence. Xianfeng Immortal Emperor sneered and grabbed at Yemo. No other Immortal Emperor wanted to say anything, and Wu Hui, Immortal Emperor, sneered on the side. He knew this Xian Feng, Immortal Emperor. He was indeed a little stronger than him, but that was because Xian Feng, Immortal Emperor, was Immortal Emperor Middle Stage. A mere Immortal Emperor Middle Stage dared to be so casual and use his hand to grab EMO. He was too cocky. Wu Hui wasn't going to remind Xian Feng. He had suffered too much in Yumo's hands. If others didn't suffer in Yumo's hand, he wouldn't feel satisfied. When Xian Feng, Immortal Emperor, grabbed over, Yi Mo punched out, Shatter Sky. When Xian Feng, Immortal Emperor, grabbed over, Yi Mo punched out, Shatter Sky. The instant of that punch, all sorts of sword rays and lightning arcs were drawn over, forming multiple space, lethal force, whirlpool. The nearby Immortal Emperor saw Yi Mo release God Art, and their faces immediately changed. Xian Feng, Immortal Emperor's complexion also changed. After an explosion, Xian Feng, Immortal Emperor's giant hand was torn to pieces while he was forced back 100 meters away. His purple immortal robes were torn too. Wu Hui looked and sneered. He was certain that if Xian Feng, Immortal Emperor, encountered Yi Mo alone, with Mo's madman character, he would definitely stick to Xian Feng till the end. Xian Feng, Immortal Emperor, looked furiously at where Yi Mo stood. There was only an immortal essence, whirlpool there, while Yi Mo had long left and disappeared. In this space, he couldn't use his spirit sense to find where Yi Mo was, and he knew that it wasn't plausible to capture an immortal god body, Immortal King here. Good capabilities. Nong Yen, Immortal Emperor, applauded to himself. Zhang Ren, Immortal Emperor, looked in shock at where Yi Mo disappeared. He finally realized why Yi Mo could hunt Wu Hui, Immortal Emperor, everywhere. Zhang Ren, Immortal Emperor, subconsciously looked at Xian Feng, Immortal Emperor, and sneered to himself. This guy took the lead to stop Yi Mo. If he encountered Yi Mo in here in the future, he would surely have trouble. Everyone knew Yi Mo took the Wu Qin fruit, but they knew it was impossible to catch Yi Mo in here unless it was someone of the level of the 4 Grand Emperors. Yi Mo wasn't worried that Xian Feng, Immortal Emperor, would come chase him. In this dimension, he wouldn't care about an ordinary Immortal Emperor Middle Stage like Xian Feng. Just as he guessed, Xian Feng, Immortal Emperor, didn't chase him. Yi Mo had decided to find immortal ranges here first, since there were ample of them here, and then go into solitary cultivation. For months later, Yi Mo stopped searching and went to a far-off place before going underground and going into the Golden Page world. In this 4 months, he didn't find any way out, but he collected 1 extreme-grade immortal range, 12 top-grade immortal range, 6 middle-grade immortal range, and 9 low-grade immortal range. He also saw another W Qin fruit and chased it for a while before giving up. Yi Mo knew that with his current power, it was impossible to catch Wu Qin fruit. Last time, he caught it purely due to luck. With large amounts of immortal range here, Yi Mo was very satisfied. Extreme grade immortal range was rare. Buddh had 4 in his hands now. He went into the Golden Page world, now to go into solitary cultivation. Yi Mo was certain that in this dimension he was the weakest. No matter if he could leave this dimension or not, Yi Mo felt the most important thing for him to do was increase his power. Small Ginseng had no battle power and couldn't help. Shadowless was still asleep, but feeling the chi coming from him. Yi Mo felt that when Shadowless woke up, he would reach Immortal Tao. Yi Mo used a top-grade immortal range next to the bitter bamboo to set up the Immortal Spirit Gathering Formation and Time Formation Disc before dragging out an extreme-grade immortal range to cultivate. Time flew by in the Time Formation Disc solitary cultivation. Immortal range were used up by Yi Mo and turned into dust. He consumed many immortal pills. His immortal essence level grew slowly. This slow was only relative to Yi Mo. The Time Formation Disc was used continuously for 12 years. When more than half of Yimo's immortal range turned to dust, he was immortal king peak stage power. Only the most talented immortal king and immortal monarch didn't need any supplementary pills. Ordinary immortal king and immortal monarch needed supplementary pills. Yimo's talent wasn't too good. Not only did the three-birth chant require large amounts of resources, but the cultivation method derived with three-birth chant also required large amounts of resources. Yi-Mo needed monarch will pill to break through to immortal monarch. Yi-Mo had the supplementary herbs for monarch will pill, but he didn't have the main immortal spirit herb jade, flow, void mood. Yi-Mo had decided to go out to search for immortal range and find a way to leave. If he didn't leave here, he wouldn't be able to reach immortal monarch. Plus, with Yi-Mo's current pill concoction skills, even if he got a jade flow void wood, he might not be able to concoct monarch will pill. That pill was level 8 immortal pill. Level 8 immortal spirit herb was rare, and if he didn't have enough to practice, he didn't dare to casually concoct monarch will pill. Returning to this lethal force space, Yi-Mo started searching for small ginseng again. The benefit of small ginseng to him was immeasurable. A month later, Yi-Mo found another 4 top-grade small ginseng, but at this moment, he felt Shadowless had woken up. Feeling Yi-Mo's will, Shadowless charged out of the golden page world immediately. Shadowless landed, and its 2 wings flapped immediately. Immortal essence flow immediately swept the beam and flames to the side. Yi-Mo didn't need to look to know that Yi-Mo really broke through this time. As expected, the first thing Shadowless said was, "Boss, I already reach Immortal Tao." Yi-Mo nodded with satisfaction and asked, "What powers do you have now? Don't be like last time when you can't even deal with Kai-Mi's Blood River." Shadowless didn't seem ashamed at all. He gloated, "Now I can devour domain god art. Immortal King is only food for me. Immortal Monarch I can devour in one mouth if his bones aren't hard." "What? You can devour domain and god art?" Yi-Mo asked in shock. "Of course, but if an immortal emperor forms realm domain, I don't know if I can," Shadowless said. Yi-Mo waved his hand. "I haven't even seen an immortal emperor with realm domain. Don't worry. Those few immortal emperors I saw before are all powerful immortal emperor domain. At most they have the primal form of realm domain. If you can devour immortal emperor domain and ordinary god art and I reach immortal monarch, then we don't need to fear anyone here." "Boss, what is this place? Why are there so many random things?" Shadowless's powerful body was on par with Yi-Mo's immortal god body. "This is a dimension next to the one we were at before. I don't know exactly what this place is, but there are large amounts of immortal range. I reached Immortal King Peak stage due to these immortal ranges." Yi-Mo said, "That's good. Call small ginseng out. We'll go find immortal range." Shadowless said excitedly. Yi-Mo replied, "Small ginseng can't come out to this dimension. See if you can find it." "Of course. Although my nose isn't as good as small ginseng, it's easy job to find a few immortal range." Shadowless immediately said, hearing that he was doing something small ginseng was good at. Shadowless didn't bluff. Yi-Mo took more than a month to find a few top-grade immortal range, but Shadowless found an extreme-grade immortal range in 3 days. Shadowless didn't bluff. Yi-Mo took more than a month to find a few top-grade immortal range, but Shadowless found an extreme-grade immortal range in 3 days. After following Shadowless for a few days, Yi-Mo realized that not all immortal ranges were like He-Chong said. There were also immortal ranges in ordinary places, and usually these immortal ranges were purer. This day, Shadowless brought Yi-Mo to a new place. Yi-Mo just dug an extreme-grade immortal range, and a dashing light landed before Yi-Mo. "It's you!" A middle-aged immortal emperor appeared before Yi-Mo. He immediately recognized who Yi-Mo was. The next moment, His eyes landed on Shadowless, and moments later he immediately said, "So it's you." These two questions made Yi Mo confused. He understood the first one as this immortal emperor was one of the immortal emperors chasing the Wu Qin fruit. But what did the second question mean? Yi Mo wasn't scared of this immortal emperor middle stage. His cultivation level broke through, and Shadowless reached immortal Tao. Seeing Yi Mo not understand him, but not become scared of him either, this immortal emperor wasn't surprised. After Yi Mo ran off, he knew from Zhang Ren immortal emperor about how Yi Mo hunted Wu Hui immortal emperor. An immortal king hunting an immortal emperor. This news was way too shocking. Even in this dimension, it was very rare. Is your cultivation level immortal king middle stage or tertiary stage? This immortal emperor looked at Yi Mo in shock. He felt last time Yi Mo was immortal king middle stage, but now he saw Yi Mo was immortal king tertiary stage. Yi Mo hit his power level to immortal king middle stage and said, "Just think I'm an immortal king middle stage." Seeing Yi Mo hide his cultivation level, this immortal emperor's eyes narrowed. This was definitely the top level stealth cultivation method. This Yi Mo wasn't an immortal king middle stage at all. He might even be immortal monarch power. An extremely powerful immortal monarch with a mortal god body could indeed hunt an ordinary immortal emperor primary stage in this place. If Yi Mo was an immortal monarch, then how could he enter the small heaven domain last time? Thinking about this, the immortal emperor saluted with his fists. "My name is Ji Lei. I come from Tanshur heaven." "You must be very confused about the second. So it's you?" "That's because when the small heaven domain opened up, I was there too. Many people who came out formed the small heaven domain. Saw your dragon, horse pet." Yi Mo realized, but he didn't care. In this place, he needed Shadowless to help him. Hiding Shadowless wasn't plausible. He was about to reach immortal monarch. Once he did, he would use large sums of immortal range to reach immortal monarch tertiary stage. Then, with Shadowless's help, he wouldn't fear ordinary immortal emperors, even outside. "Yi Mo greet, Ji Lei immortal emperor. This immortal pet is given to me by my friend named Xiama. My friend indeed went to small heaven domain. He's in solitary cultivation to break through to immortal king, so this immortal pet is following me now." Yi Mo said. Ji Lei immortal emperor didn't argue and smiled. "You still have some distance till immortal emperor, right? Wu Qin fruit is used by immortal emperor tertiary stage or even immortal king peak stage. You want my Wu Qin fruit?" Yi Mo asked plainly. Ji Lei immortal emperor said without hesitation, "That's right, I want it indeed. If it was some ordinary person, I would have robbed it already, but I know it's not too practicable, so name a price. I'll see if I can afford it." Yi Mo smiled. Any immortal emperor who saw an immortal king had a Wu Qin fruit would rob it. To be honest, Yi Mo didn't need the Wu Qin fruit that much. He took the fruit out in the golden page world. It had this ethereal Tao wave that was indeed helpful in being enlightened for a new state. It was similar to bitter bamboo. I don't know the price of it very well, but I know that immortal emperors need this, and I don't really happen to need it. If you want it, then name a suitable price, and I'll think about it." Yi Mo said. Ji Lei immortal emperor said without hesitation, "I'll pay 10 extreme grade immortal range and 20 top grade immortal range." To be honest, this price was very high. If it was outside, even he wouldn't be able to afford it. Extreme grade immortal range. Even an emperor sect only had a few. Only a divine emperor would be able to suddenly pay out 10. If the Wu Chun fruit could really help with Tao vindication, then it wasn't expensive even if it was 10 times higher. Yi Mo didn't really want Ji Lei immortal emperor to take out 10 times that price, but he shook his head. "Your price is a bit low. I don't really care about that 30 immortal range, but I need 100 level 8 immortal spirit herb and 2 jade flow void wood." "You're really an immortal king?" Hearing this, Ji Lei immortal emperor immediately asked in shock. Only an immortal king would want the jade flow void wood for the monarch will pill. Yi Emo shook his head. Whether or not I'm a mortal king is not the main point. The main point is my friend is in solitary cultivation and about to reach immortal king. I need to prepare that for him. If you can afford it, then we can make a deal immediately. Jilei knew that the things Yi Emo added wasn't very expensive compared to the Wuchen fruit, but he couldn't take out Jade Flow Voidwood now. Seeing Jilei's expression, Yi Emo knew he couldn't take it out, so Yi Emo saluted with his fists and said, "In that case, I'm going first." "Wait." Jilei quickly called. Yi Emo's face sunk. Does Brother Jilei want to use force? An immortal king calling an immortal emperor brother. Probably only someone like Yi Emo could do this, but Jilei quickly said, "No, can you wait for me here for 2 days? I'll come back and deal with you 2 days later?" "You guys have a set location?" Yi Emo asked. Jilei knew it was impossible to trick Yi Emo on this, so he immediately said, "That's right, we found a palace without the dangers. People can cultivate in there. Most of the immortal emperors who came in are there unless they go out to search for immortal range. Just wait for me for 2 days, and I can help ask if anyone has the wood." He knew Yi Emo was definitely not going to go with him to that palace, so he didn't bother asking. "Okay, this is my communication bead. 2 days later, contact me." Yi Emo threw a communication bead to Jilei and left. He wasn't going to meet those immortal emperor no matter what unless he reached immortal monarch. Jilei was more desperate than Yi Emo. He was scared that Yi Emo would encounter other immortal emperor and trade with them instead. In less than 2 days, Yi Emo received Jilei immortal emperor's news. "You found what I want this quickly?" Yi Emo asked in confusion. His spirit sense saw that Jilei came alone indeed, but Yi Emo felt a strange atmosphere. Jilei threw out a storage ring to Yi Emo. Yi Emo's spirit sense scanned inside, and there were 10 extreme grade immortal range, 20 top grade immortal range, and 130 level 8 immortal spirit herb, 1 jade flow void wood. "I only found 1 jade flow void wood, but I got 30 more level 8 immortal spirit herb. Is this okay?" Jilei stared at Yi Emo and asked. Yi Emo suppressed his joy and nodded. "Okay, I agree." Then Yi Emo threw out a jade box at Jilei immortal emperor. But before it landed in Jilei's hands, a black figure swept past and the jade box disappeared. "Li Long, you old bastard." Jilei's face went pale and cursed. Yi Emo breathed easy. No wonder he felt someone watching. There really was an immortal emperor hiding on the side. Yi Emo breathed easy. No wonder he felt someone was watching. There was an immortal emperor hiding on the side. He felt even more how low his power was. Someone was hiding on the side, and he didn't even know about it. Little did Yi Emo know that Jilei immortal emperor didn't know he was here too. Yi Emo breathed easy. No wonder he felt someone was watching. There was an immortal emperor hiding on the side. He felt even more how low his power was. Someone was hiding on the side, and he didn't even know about it. Little did Yi Emo know that Jilei immortal emperor didn't know he was here too. "Yi Emo, you took out the jade box. Can you trace the jade box and help me catch up to that bastard based on the chi? If you can help me catch up to Li Long immortal emperor, I'm willing to pay you more." Jilei immortal emperor turned and saluted with his fists to Yi Emo. Hearing this, Yi Emo's impression of Jilei immortal emperor changed greatly. He thought that Jilei immortal emperor would regret the deal, but instead, he just asked for help. If Jilei immortal emperor changed his mind, then Yi Emo would not only not give back the dustless fruit, but instead would try the combined power of him and shadowless. This is dustless fruit. Pity I don't have time now. If I do, I don't mind taking out that guy. Yi Emo took out another jade box and gave it to Jilei immortal emperor. Jilei immortal emperor dazed for a moment. Then he reacted and said with surprise and joy, the dustless fruit wasn't taken away. Just the. Yi Mo sneered. What thing is Li Long he dares to dream of stealing dustless fruit from my hands? Yi Mo was not bluffing. He got jade flow void wood. The first thing he was going to do wasn't find trouble with Li Long Immortal Emperor, but to concoct Monarch will pill and prepare for mortal monarch breakthrough. Once he reached Immortal Monarch, his power would be much, much stronger. Other people may need tens of thousands of years or even millions of years to reach Immortal Monarch from Immortal King, but he only needed a few thousand years. J.I. Lei Immortal Emperor took the jade box in surprise and joy. He didn't expect Yi Mo, didn't take out the real dustless fruit the first time and now gave the real one to him. Ji Lei Immortal Emperor scanned with spirit sense and saw that this was the real dustless fruit. With this, he no longer had the mood to go after Li Long Immortal Emperor. Thank you, sect leader Yi. Ji Lei Immortal Emperor thanked. Suddenly he felt a little cold. Li Long was hiding on the side, and he didn't realize. Yi Mo threw a fake jade box at him clearly because Yi Mo had already noticed Li Long. Luckily, he didn't plan on coursing Yi Mo. If he really did, he would probably be in Wu Hui Immortal Emperor's shoes. Yi Mo smiled. No need, this is what you deserve. This sounded like the words of a Qian Bei to a Wan Bei, but Ji Lei Immortal Emperor didn't feel offended at all. Yi Mo really had the right to say such words. It seemed this sect leader, he was a very characteristic person. Ji Lei Immortal Emperor had some understanding of Yi Mo's character now. Seeing that Yi Mo was about to go, Ji Lei Immortal Emperor suddenly said, Sect leader, the person who just left is from Du Heaven East Abyss Emperor Sect, Li Long Immortal Emperor. In the Qing Wei Heaven, he knew that your friend Ning Xiaoma killed his disciple Fu Xingxing, and he knows that Ning Xiaoma has a dragon horse. He definitely saw the dragon horse just then, but he didn't attack, probably because he didn't want more trouble when taking the dustless fruit. You need to be careful if you encounter him again. Yi Mo nodded. Okay, thank you, Ji Lei Immortal Emperor. Ji Lei Immortal Emperor continued, when we went into the small world, a purple-robed Immortal Emperor also was looking for your friend Ning Xiaoma. Then Ji Lei Immortal Emperor marked a crystal ball and gave it to Yi Mo and then gave him a jade slip. The crystal ball has the appearance of that purple-robed Immortal Emperor. This jade slip is a simple map which has the location of that palace I spoke of. That palace is the exit. When you're stronger, you can go have a look. Goodbye. Then Ji Lei turned to leave, soon disappearing. Yi Mo scanned his spirit sense into the crystal ball and indeed saw a purple-robed man. Without a doubt, this guy was the guy who pretended to be an immortal monarch and also had the 5-stone stool. Putting the crystal ball away, Yi Mo took out the jade slip and had a look. Yi Mo happily put it away soon while thinking that there were still some nice people. He didn't let Ji Lei Immortal Emperor suffer a loss, so he immediately got some news that he needed desperately. The only thing Yi Mo needed to do now was to go into solitary cultivation and cultivate. As for going out, it was not so much a rush for him now. Yi Mo realized that his secret was exposed. That purple-robed Immortal Emperor knew that the other stone stools were with Ning Xiaoma, which was him. The dragon horse belonged to Ning Xiaoma, but now appeared with him, so when he went out, he had to be able to take on that purple-robed Immortal Emperor, or it would be suicide. According to his estimate, even if he reached Immortal Monarch, he was probably no match for Immortal Emperor tertiary stage outside. Yi Mo sighed. He just hoped no one could leave this dimension. That way, news of him wouldn't be exposed. He found another place to go into the Golden Page world and started his second solitary cultivation. This time it was for pill concoction. He had some level 8 immortal spirit herb already, and now he got another 100 or so. His only goal right now was to reach level 8 immortal pill, Grandmaster. Level 7 and level 8 immortal spirit herb turned to dust rapidly or was turned into pills. His immortal spirit herb was limited, so every cauldron of level 8 immortal pills. He would stop to analyze for a few days to find his mistakes before continuing. 6 months later, Yemo could concoct ordinary level 8 immortal spirit herbs. 1 year later, he could concoct top-grade level 8 immortal pills. 2 years later, Yemo used more than 90% of the level 8 immortal spirit herbs and had complete mastery over level 8 immortal pills. Only then did he start concocting Monarch Will Pill. With 2 years of preparation, Yemo succeeded without any incidents. He got 12 pills, 10 special grade and 2 top grade. Yemo was very happy with this result. It was his first time concocting Monarch Will Pill after all. After this, he immediately went out to prepare for Immortal Monarch Breakthrough. There were lightning arcs, sword rays, flames, asteroids all over this dimension. It could be said that no one wants to have divine damnation here, not even Yemo, but Yemo knew he had no choice. Luckily, he was a mortal god body, so it didn't affect much. This dimension was ravaged with lethality, but the immortal spirit chi was dense. Yemo threw down an extreme grade immortal range to set up spirit gathering immortal formation. Yemo didn't even set up a defense formation in this place and started to use 3 birth chant to charge at the immortal monarch barrier. Yemo swept all the immortal spirit chi over, forming a huge immortal spirit chi cloud above his head. The immortal spirit chi cloud came in circles and was constantly pierced by all sorts of lightning arcs and sword rays, but it was getting denser and denser. Yemo didn't feel it at all. He just kept devouring the nearby immortal spirit chi. Outside the spirit gathering immortal formation, Shadowless looked around carefully. As Yemo ate a top-grade Monarch Will Pill, more immortal spirit chi was swept over, forming an extremely huge immortal spirit chi mist whirlpool. When Yemo felt his immortal essence was at the immortal monarch barrier, he didn't hesitate at all and ate another special grade Monarch Will Pill. The rushing immortal essence swept with even greater force under the Monarch Will Pill and smashed at the immortal monarch barrier. When Yemo felt his immortal essence was at the immortal monarch barrier, he didn't hesitate at all and ate another special grade Monarch Will Pill. The rushing immortal essence swept with even greater force under the Monarch Will Pill and smashed at the immortal monarch barrier. Rumble. In the gray void, crackling sounds came. When Yemo's immortal essence charged at the immortal monarch barrier for the first time, the first wave of immortal monarch divine damnation came. 108 golden lightning arcs, thicker than wooden buckets, smashed down from all directions. The 108 arcs almost completely covered this dimension, turning into a sea of gold. Meanwhile, the lightning arcs and space rays were long gone. With his previous experience of lightning arcs smashing out from underground, Yemo didn't stay on the ground and instead rose up while smashing out space shatter. Yemo's space shatter first fused from the 9 void fists. This time, Yemo didn't use any defense immortal artifact. He believed his immortal god body was enough to deal with it. His divine damnation was absurd, but his power was even more absurd. He didn't believe that an immortal god body couldn't withstand to a divine damnation. His immortal god body was theoretically as tough as extreme grade immortal artifact. With his immortal essence flowing in his body, it would be stronger than extreme grade immortal artifacts. Crack! This time, Yemo's space shatter didn't sweep up lethal force, but instead was purely aimed at the lightning arcs. So this time it attacked very fast. Arcs of lightning were crippled and destroyed by Yemo. In that instance, golden rays spilled everywhere in this place. More lightning struck on Yemo's body, and his skin immediately cracked open. Cracking sounds came from his bones. The power and recovery of the immortal god body was fully showcased now. Then, with his rapid devouring of lightning source, the injuries quickly recovered while his immortal essence and spirit sense rose drastically. What shook Yemo was that this time lightning didn't come from underground, but like last time, the second wave of 108 arcs came before the first wave was even over. Before Yi-Mo could even keep using space shatter, the second wave struck him. Almost at the same time, Yi-Mo felt his meridians expand and a powerful immortal essence arose. Yi-Mo knew that just when the second wave came, his immortal essence broke through the immortal monarch barrier. The second wave provided him with lightning source to devour. Knowing that he broke through, there was no more lightning arcs. Yi-Mo ran the three-birth chant like crazy as he devoured the lightning source. Powerful lightning source and dense immortal spirit chi was devoured by Yi-Mo like crazy. Yi-Mo felt like his cultivation level was sky-rocketing. His immortal monarch power started to consolidate, and the bones that were broken recovered perfectly. Rumble. The third wave of lightning arc fell. Yi-Mo thought there wouldn't be anything in the third wave, but instead, there were still 27 bolts of golden lightning in the third wave. They were about double the size of the second wave. But such lightning bolts really couldn't do any damage to Yi-Mo now. Yi-Mo had reached Immortal Monarch. These lightning bolts would only help him cultivate. But then, the fourth wave landed the fifth. What shocked Yi-Mo was that 9 waves of lightning bolts fell before this space of gold dissipated. This divine damnation was unlike before. It was a complete divine damnation. Other than the first and second wave, which had 108 bolts, the rest all had 27 bolts. After the divine damnation, no immortal spirit chi cloud came, just as Yi-Mo expected. Yi-Mo didn't care. He was used to it now, feeling the immortal essence and spirit sense that was many times more powerful than Immortal King tertiary stage. Yi-Mo knew that he finally had a foundation. After taking a long sigh, Yi-Mo felt even more how powerful the cultivation method from the Golden Page world was. Its power wasn't something that humans could fathom. If he didn't cultivate three-birth chant, it would be pathetic to fight Immortal Emperor with Immortal King and Immortal Monarch power. However, the three-birth chant did it. Yi-Mo cleansed himself and changed into a new set of clothes. Suddenly, he had this enlightenment. Transmission God art? There were 9 levels. The first level could move tens of thousands of miles. It was much more powerful than instant transmission. Instant transmission would cause huge space ripples and could only move 1 to 2,000 kilometers. It was too short. When Yi-Mo was certain that he learned transmission God art, he was overjoyed. He didn't expect that there would be this bonus God art after reaching Immortal Monarch. This God art was the most practicable God art to him. Once he reached higher level of transmission God art, even if he was no match for the enemy, he would be able to get away. Yi-Mo suppressed his joy and put away the immortal range and formation flags before going back in the Golden Page world. Yi-Mo was certain now that if he encountered Wu Hui, Immortal Emperor, he would be able to kill him. If he encountered Wu Hui, Immortal Emperor outside, he wouldn't lose with Shadowless's support. But Yi-Mo knew that Wu Hui, Immortal Emperor, was the weakest amongst Immortal Emperor. Immortal Emperor primary stage and didn't have powerful God art. His power was worth nothing. He might need to face Wu Ying, Immortal Emperor, and the purple-robed Immortal Emperor on his way out. These guys were Immortal Emperor tertiary stage, or even peak stage. So, Yi-Mo went back into the Golden Page world for solitary cultivation immediately. If he didn't cultivate to the maximum he wouldn't go out. Dustless fruit was taken by Ji Lei, Immortal Emperor, and I saw a dragon horse. The dragon horse that appeared in the small heaven domain is in Yi-Mo's hands. A long-browed man spoke in a huge palace. This person was Li Long, Immortal Emperor. This palace seemed very ancient. It was as though it had been here for countless millions of years. There were tens of cushioned seats around the palace. Each cushion emitted extremely dense immortal spirit chi. Some immortal emperors were sitting on them cultivating. But hearing this, most immortal emperors stopped cultivation and came over. You said you saw the dragon horse? The dragon horse most great eternity immortals saw in the small heaven domain? One middle-aged immortal emperor asked heavily. Yes, Feng Kong, Grand Emperor, I'm certain I saw it. In order to take the dustless fruit, I retreated immediately. Later, I realized I was tricked by the bastard. There was just an useless stone in the box. The dustless fruit is either in the hands of Yi Mo or Jile, Immortal Emperor. Li Long, Immortal Emperor, said, Yi Mo, Ning Xiaoma, Dragon Horse. Feng Kong, Grand Emperor, murmured and sneered, No matter who he is, I won't let him go for playing tricks with the small heaven domain. Wei Feng, Immortal Emperor, immediately said, Feng Kong, Grand Emperor, is right. This person is very cunning and snuck into the small heaven domain. Since he can survive the explosion of the small heaven domain, he might have some top-level rune or other secrets. We'll continue to break the formation in this palace. As long as EMO is in this dimension, he wouldn't be able to get away. No matter where he goes, he has to come here to leave. Dragon River, Grand Emperor, said. Although Yi Mo knew the position of this palace, he never thought about going there now. He was still in solitary cultivation now. More than 10 extreme grade immortal range and tens of top grade immortal range. Yi Mo didn't believe he couldn't reach immortal monarch tertiary stage. Although Yi Mo knew the position of this palace, he never thought about going there now. He was still in solitary cultivation now. More than 10 extreme grade immortal range and tens of top grade immortal range. Yi Mo didn't believe he couldn't reach immortal monarch tertiary stage. Other people used immortal crystals to cultivate, but Yi Mo used immortal range to cultivate. Immortal ranges were used up, and all these devoured immortal spirit chi turned into his immortal essence. After the time formation, disc spun for a year. Yi Mo suddenly left the time formation disc and came to an empty space in the golden page world. He didn't prepare at all and casually released a god art. 5 extremely thick lightning spears with 10 km of lightning arcs suddenly smashed down. There was no preparation or gathering of force, nor void lethal force. But when these 5 lightning spears landed, the nearby lethal force was instantly drawn over and attacked at the same spot. Rumble. A huge ravine appeared in the golden page world. Small Ginseng and Shadowless came to watch worriedly. Yi Mo rejoiced. His lightning sword, after going through immortal monarch divine damnation and devouring large amounts of golden lightning, finally formed a new god art, 5 lightning spear destruction. Compared to lightning sand, this 5 lightning spear destruction was much more powerful, and more importantly, it didn't need to gather force. It released instantly. That was the most terrifying part. It could be said that up until now, 5 lightning spear destruction was Yi Mo's most powerful god art. After learning 5 lightning spear destruction, Yi Mo continued to go into time formation disc for solitary cultivation. He was more certain now that even a mortal emperor might not be able to take 5 lightning spear destruction, especially with Shadowless devouring immortal emperor domain. Time flew by in Yi Mo's cultivation, and Yi Mo's immortal ranges were rapidly consumed. When he was a mortal king, it would take 200-300 years to use up 1 extreme grade immortal range, but now he would use up 1 every few decades. When his time formation disc ran for 10 years, Yi Mo stopped cultivation. It wasn't that he didn't want to cultivate, but that he had no more immortal range. Yi Mo was speechless. More than 10 extreme grade immortal range and tens of top grade immortal range only lifted his power to immortal monarch middle stage peak. He didn't even reach immortal monarch tertiary stage. If he didn't enter this space, there was no way he would reach immortal monarch middle stage outside. 3 birth chant used on tremendous amounts of resources later on, and this was multiplicative. Yi Emo didn't dare to imagine how much resources he would need to reach a mortal emperor and how much resources he would need for a mortal emperor cultivation. According to such calculation, even if he stayed here his entire life, he wouldn't be able to reach divine emperor. If he left, there would be even lesser chance. Realizing how much resources he needed, Yi Emo took Shadowless on a frenzied digging for immortal range. He wasn't letting go even low-grade immortal ranges. A month later, Yi Emo found more than 10 immortal range with the help of Shadowless. There was one extreme grade immortal range. He was going to go to the palace that Ji Lei Immortal Emperor spoke up, but he suddenly received a news. It was from He Chong Immortal Emperor. He seemed very desperate, asking Yi Emo if there was a place to hide. Yi Emo immediately replied to He Chong Immortal Emperor and charged towards where he was. A few hours later, Yi Emo saw a He Chong Immortal Emperor covered in wound. He didn't even have the time to recover. But what shook Yi Emo was that He Chong Immortal Emperor was a mortal emperor tertiary stage, and his chi was very stable. Clearly, he had reached immortal emperor tertiary stage for a while. Brother He Chong, what is this? Yi Emo looked at He Chong in confusion. He Chong Immortal Emperor saw Yi Emo and breathed easy. I was hunted by that Xianfeng Immortal Emperor and a long-browed guy. Before he finished, his face changed. Those two bastards are here. We need to leave quickly. Brother Yi, do you have good recovery pills? I don't have any left. Yi Emo smiled and waved his hand. No need to leave, my immortal pet, and I can take care of that long brows. I wanted to look for his trouble 10 years ago, and he dares to come today. Then Yi Emo took out a bottle of pills and said, This is a bottle of good pills. Use it first. Blue Spirit Essence pill? You have such high-level pills. He Chong called out in shock and then quickly ate one, saying, Thank you so much, this is really good. He even forgot to tell Yi Emo to run, and when he woke up, 2 dashing lights came. Haha, kid, you hid for 10 years, and now I still found you. A long-browed man saw Yi Emo and laughed. Xianfeng Immortal Emperor fought with Yi Emo once and knew he wasn't simple. Although Yi Emo made him lose face last time, he was very calm this time. Yi Emo, my injuries have recovered a little. Leave that Xianfeng to me, you can have the long brows. He Chong Immortal Emperor released his magic artifact and stood with Yi Emo your Li Long, the bastard who stole my dustless fruit. Yi Emo stared at this man coldly. You're asking to die. Li Long Immortal Emperor sneered, and an eerie, white heaven tiger claw floated above his head. He didn't release it immediately, but instead glared at Yi Emo asking, You Ning Xiaoma? Or do you know Ning Xiaoma? Who was my disciple Fu Xingxin killed by? Clearly, Yi Emo wasn't going to admit he was Ning Xiaoma even if other people knew it. Yi Emo couldn't even be bothered talking to Li Long Immortal Emperor now and hacked over with Zisu. When the two fought, He Chong Immortal Emperor and Xianfeng Immortal Emperor started fighting. Yi Emo was a mortal monarch now and didn't fear any sword ray or lightning in this dimension. His crevice strike was many times stronger than when he was immortal king. Crevice swept up the nearby space and drew a faint, void blade mark. All the lethal force in this space was swept up by this strike. Even a portion of space fell into this blade. Li Long Immortal Emperor was a mortal emperor middle stage, and seeing this strike, he knew that Yi Emo definitely hid his power. He also realized that the stories he heard about Yi Emo wasn't bullshit. With Yi Mo's god art, it wasn't hard for him to hunt Wu Hui Immortal Emperor. But even so, Li Long Immortal Emperor wasn't scared of Yi Emo. He expanded his humongous Immortal Emperor domain. Meanwhile, the Heaven Tiger Claw turned into thousands of 10 km white light and struck towards Yi Emo. Yi Mo's crevice slowed immediately in the Immortal Emperor domain. Seeing this, Shadowless opened his mouth and started eating. A few hundred of those white lights were also devoured by Shadowless. Meanwhile, Li Long's Immortal Emperor domain had a large chunk bitten off by Shadowless. The slowed, purple crevice soon sped up again. Then Yi-Mo ignored the white light and punched out after Crevice. Buzz! Space was vibrating under Crevice, and the crevices in space appeared more clearly. Li Long, Immortal Emperor, was enveloped in this purple crevice. Devour space? Li Long didn't mind Yi-Mo's crevice and didn't see Yi-Mo's shatter space fist god art, but he looked at Shadowless in shock. Li Long, Immortal Emperor, didn't dare to care about Shadowless when the faint lethal force came. He released a huge cauldron, while his light claws roared like a tiger piercing down from the heavens. Crack! Crevice struck the metal cauldron. There was an ear-screeching sound while immortal essence exploded. There were waves of void ripples and shakes. Even Xian Feng, Immortal Emperor, and He Chong, Immortal Emperor, who were a few hundred km away, stopped in shock and looked over. Rumble. Now, Yi-Mo's Shatter Space God art just swept up space itself and clashed with the huge white tiger. The white tiger let out a roar, and its front claw clawed out a 3 kilometers deep ravine. Shadowless bit down on the tiger claw before it could go back. The white tiger roared again, but the light claws dimmed down a lot. Li Long, Immortal Emperor, retreated 100 meters before stopping. There was a faint blood mark on his forehead. He ignored it and just looked at Yi-Mo in extreme shock. You're tuning in to the Thunder Spear YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.